Welcome back to our recap slash just vibing it out tonight. We just saw two draws happen, and to be honest, Group B now is a group of life. If you didn't think so before, it is one now. And Morocco Brazil was interesting. I liked it. It opened a few interesting. But right now, as we talk about those games, we have Haiti versus Scotland about to get going. We have that on the screen here. But we're going to be talking about all the games that happened, all the games that were, the game that is, and then the games that will be coming up later because we have a nightcap later on tonight with Tunisia taking on Australia. Perfect time for the Australian folks coming in. And we already have a guest for today. We have me coming in, sir. He'll be in a minute here. But we're definitely going to be here in a second. He'll be here in a moment here. But two draws today, one that opens up a group and another one that could put another team, if Scotland or Haiti are able to jump into this, I mean, they could jump into their group, and then the next thing you know, it opens up the possibilities for them. So let us know. We'll be watching that game, but we're also going to be talking about the teams, the games that were today. So if you watch the Switzerland Qatar game, Qatar at the death really opens up that group to be very intriguing. And then we had Morocco Brazil in a game where I think for stretches both sides showed well. My stream is off. Interesting. Why is it's showing well here, but I'll take a look and see what that could be. But we'll go in and see what we can have. But we have Nee here.
Hello.
Nee, how are you doing,
Bonjour.
good sir, today?
I'm well. I am 1-1. I am at one with myself. Hello.
All right, let me just adjust my volume here because perfect. All right, Nee, how have you been enjoying both of your your World Cup experience so far? Has it? I know there's the stuff behind the scenes that happens, which is now in front of the scenes.
Yes.
But in terms of the football, how have you enjoyed it so far?
It's day 3 at Kwasi, and I feel like today's the day that the World Cup became real. I was walking through the streets of Toronto, and you saw Brazil jerseys. Everyone's wearing their jerseys today. The weather is great. The mood on the streets, even though no one's won yet. The first 2 games have been 1-1 stalemates, but the vibes are correct. The first day was a little bit, not a letdown, but I kind of expected it. I kind of expected Mexico to beat South Africa, and then Korea winning against Czechia. Yeah, I could see that too. And then the next day, it was huge. The next day was huge for Canada and for the city of Toronto, but maybe I was a little bit overwhelmed, or it just didn't hit the same way. But today, today is for the football people. Like 4 games. Actually, I think it's 5. But it's back to back to back. Get your energy drinks, get your water, get your boiled eggs if you're Ghanaian, and get on with it.
Yes, get your boiled eggs ready if you're Ghana. We'll get to Ghana in a minute because they certainly will refuse to stay away from headlines right now. But like you mentioned earlier today, like we had Qatar getting a late equalizer to draw the Swiss, and now that puts Group B into just it's a group of life and it's a group of death, right? Because I've been saying since this, I'm referring back to the U17 as a reference point, not as an indicator. But there was a group in the U17s where we had 4 teams finish with 4 points, and goal difference was the difference. And I feel like Group B is setting up for that, especially now where you have a Qatar team that, look, they soaked in, they absorbed, they weathered, and they got their goal at the end, and that opens the door for them to come through and possibly get out of this group because now everyone's at 1, everyone's alive.
Yeah, so that group is a lot tougher than people think or may have expected on paper. You know, the Swiss, who they're tournament specialists, they're not exciting, but they do what they need to do. Usually, they didn't today. They coughed up 3 XG and allowed Qatar to score in the last minute through Kuki. But Qatar, they're the 2-time defending Asian champions, but they're a team that usually lets the game come to them, and then they try to get you on the transition or the counter. And then you have Bosnia, who are another team that will play a bit more direct, as we saw against Canada. They'll use the direct and the long ball to try and get you out. The set pieces as well, because you know how much Canada love those, like a hole in the head.
So well, yes.
That's how Bosnia got the goal yesterday. But Canada showed resilience, and the only issue with Canada yesterday was the final third. And I hope that in a couple of weeks' time, we don't look back on this game as the one that they threw away 2 points, because they created the chances, they dominated possession, they spent a lot of time in the Bosnia final third, but they ended up level. So, as you said, if 4 teams finish level on points, one of them is going home. You don't want to be that 4th team, right? So,
agreed.
Next week will be huge.
It really does. It really does set itself up for now. You don't want to say, hey, there's a little bit of space wiggle room. You don't have it, right? Everyone's back on a level playing field, but you have to bank your goal. And like the Swiss game, to me, it feels interesting that we've seen multiple games this World Cup where there's a side that dominates on one way or the other, and yet the game ends as a draw because one side was just a little bit more clinical and the other one was just very wasteful. You can say that in parts of the Korea Czechia game, but Korea were able to get the win at the end. But again, set pieces gone and then go. You have the Bosnia-Canada game, and then we had the Swiss-Qatar game today where this is a tournament of, look, finish, like, it's simple math arithmetic. Finish your chances. But it's just interesting to see how these sides have tried to move the way within that space, but then they're ending here. Finishing boots will betray a team, definitely, as we move on in this tournament. I see Nelson's here as well. Nelson, in terms of the games that you've seen today, anything come top of mind in terms of what you saw? Anything surprising for you in terms of those games that you took in today?
Well, I think Switzerland basically creating 6 chances and only scoring 1 was kind of shocking. I thought it looked like Switzerland were going to beat them 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And then as the game went on, it was actually odd because I think at the beginning, like in the first 5 minutes, Qatar were actually through and should have scored, by the way.
Yes.
So like, it's interesting if Qatar score early, how different that game could have been, because I feel like Switzerland felt, I don't know, it felt like Switzerland were like in second gear, but also really trying but failing at capitalizing on chances.
Yes.
So the issue you have with the way Switzerland play is if they played like that against us, and one of them, either Mbolo or Ndoye, had like 7 chances or something that he should have buried, but eventually the shooting boots kick in. Like, let's also be fair. This is the first game where they have played with intensity. Like, friendlies aside, people don't take friendlies seriously. You can talk to pros have talked about this over and over again. They don't. They never take them seriously. They're taking now you're seeing the games. We'll talk about the other game that happened today. But all in all, kind of shocking. Qatar got its point, especially against Switzerland. It's going to be a really... I still don't think it changes anything in the group. I think Canada still beats Qatar. I think Bosnia is going to beat Qatar. But yeah, I don't think that... It's just more shocking that Switzerland didn't win this game. That's all.
I have a theory on that, by the way, gentlemen. So let's put our heads together, because what Nelson raised a very good point about the early stages of the game, and that reminded me of 2022. You may remember 2022 in those early kickoffs, the Europeans struggled, and actually Argentina struggled as well. Argentina lost to Saudi in an early kickoff. Now, Scotland are playing Haiti right now in a night game. It's still a little bit humid in the northeast over there in Boston. But as of right now, a European team has not won a World Cup game in this tournament yet. So Czechia lost at altitude. Bosnia drew in the heat, and then we saw what happened in Switzerland late on. So I'm actually giving Curacao a fighting chance tomorrow for that reason against Germany. Also, Switzerland and Bosnia are older squads, so
True, that point,
you might want to watch out for that when they have their games. And I think they have one in Philadelphia against Ghana. We'll get to Ghana, and then they have another one in the heat. But these early kickoffs, I think the Europeans haven't quite adjusted. I also think Brazil, in the game just seen against Morocco, they looked pretty sluggish as well. I thought Morocco were the better team. What did you guys think of that game?
Oh, we're going into that one.
We're going straight into it. But before I get there, apparently I have to ask you this every time. How do you think Miller's doing today, Nelson?
I hope he's doing his best. Yeah. I hope he's. Listen. I'm happy that we got the point. So whatever Liam Miller's up to, I hope he continues. Whatever he's doing, let him continue. Because Jesse Marsh clearly, whatever Jesse Marsh told him to do, I think he's doing well. I'm not mad at Liam. I like what Liam Miller did last game. Can't complain.
True. But to your question, listen, seeing that, I think there were definitely stretches where both sides were the better side, and you could see that the other side had pressure. I think that first half, Morocco felt like the better side for more of it than Brazil. I think the second half, Brazil made a few changes at half that helped them get into the game. Tactically, I think they got a few things wrong at the beginning. I think they rectified that at halftime with their substitutions. But Morocco, and this is something I always say about Morocco have been a side more recently that I find are built for however you want to play. But I felt like they try to take it to them with the pressure and the pressing in this game. And whether it was the layoff, whether it was the hydration break, it let off a little bit. And then Vinny, with a moment of brilliance for himself, gets Brazil the draw. But I think there were stretches where both sides were, I think you could say, were the better side of the game. Nelson, I'll go to you here because I know Need just asked the question. But what do you think about that Brazil-Morocco matchup?
That was confusing. You said both were the better side. One has to be better than the other. In my opinion,
I said for stretches. For stretches, they were both better sides. But answer the question.
I'm going to be honest. Morocco were the better side in the first half, as you said. But and only probably 35 minutes, they were clearly the better side. And then once Brazil got into the game, I think Brazil were the better side. And for me, Brazil were the better team. And I'll tell you why. Because two things were interesting. Just because Saibari scored, I thought that was actually a really bold move to play an attacking midfielder as a striker. I thought that was extremely bold, even though it did work, because he caught Gabriel and Marquinhos slacking, which I still think that's a very weak centre-back partnership, and I think better teams will beat them primarily because their defense is poor.
Yes.
You had stated something that I don't think it was a tactical thing. I think Ancelotti chose, okay, let's open this up, because I thought we were going to take some time, but until we get to the Brazil game. But the reason why I think Brazil sucked is they clearly lack legs in midfield.
Yes.
Paqueta was told to play as an attacking midfielder, which if you watch him at West Ham, he was shocking in the first part of the season. And then West Ham actually realized Paqueta's involvement is actually really poor. And they slowly moved Mateus Fernandes to the attacking midfield role. And then they brought him deeper because they needed someone who can control games. And both Ancelotti and the West Ham managers, because they've had two, both of them assessed that Paqueta's not good at controlling games. If you're going to the World Cup and you're facing a team like Morocco that has really good players, really good technical players, you need people who control games. So it's really weird that he chose Paqueta, because when Casemiro left, Fabinho joined, someone who is a pacemaker, That's what changed the game. Go back and see the moment Fabinho joins. There was a calmness to them, because when the ball goes to Bruno Guimaraes, Bruno's more attack minded, so he's thinking about moving the ball forward. No one's thinking about recycling. Casemiro is also a guy who's thinking about moving the ball forward. There wasn't a guy who's recycling the ball. Fabinho comes in, provides that composure, provides that calm, and multiple things that he did, right? Like the multiple tactical fouls he was doing. So in when I look at that Brazil game, I just thought they got it wrong by the selection. And it's clear Ancelotti, by the way, only likes experienced players. Because all the youth players who are good were not, like Edison is not on the team, wasn't playing, or should have played, in my opinion. What's his name? Endrick, who was clearly needed. Igor Thiago was, where was he? The whole game. He had that the ball like
that one miss at the
when it glanced over his head, because he clearly needed something. The humidity made the ball slip. But for me, I just think I don't like how Morocco actually set up, honestly. And I think people got really excited about the 30 minutes. But once Brazil changed the setup, Morocco didn't do anything. Like, Morocco got progressively worse as the game went. They didn't. All the adjustments that they tried to bring in didn't work. I was shocked that Boadi started. I don't know about you guys. Really good player, very high ceiling, actually played well. But I think that's crazy ballsy to put in a 20-year-old kid in a game like Brazil. But hey, it's a draw. I thought Morocco should have won that game, but I at the end I actually felt like Brazil did more than enough to genuinely win. I think they should have at the end, but yeah.
I mean, this is probably on paper this should be the most difficult game in the group. You piqued some interest there, because does Ancelotti go with the more youthful players against Haiti and Scotland to kind of rotate and keep the squad moving in what could be a long tournament, or is this going to be the 11 for all three group games? That's interesting.
I would hope, like, because as I'm watching Scotland and Haiti right now, and Scotland start to sit back into their mid and their defensive stance. Like, Haiti, when Haiti plays Brazil, they want the young players on the pitch, because Haiti will be fine playing a up and down type of a game as Morocco gets it offsides, but they hit the post there. Like, I mean, that's right, Haiti. And so I think Haiti will be fine. Play the young people, play a transition. I think Brazil might be able to get away with this same lineup against Scotland, just because of how Scotland plays. Again, it's a game of matchups. And Scotland's not going to try to break open the game. So maybe having more experience, more methodical takers.
Boys, it doesn't matter what version of Brazil shows up. They beat Scotland and Haiti very comfortably.
I don't know how, but I'm just saying.
Scotland beat themselves.
Scotland, it's good that they showed up. It's good that they're here. Haiti, same thing. Really glad that they're here. It's good to get a lot of experience at this level. But come on, these guys are the whipping boys. Like, Brazil, here's the interesting thing. The striker didn't actually play. Let's be honest. Igor Thiago wasn't even there.
Yeah, he was an afterthought. I only saw him coming off, and then he was on the field.
Yeah, he was playing. But like, if you look at the game, you can't tell me if they brought in Endrick, that game changes completely.
I agree as well.
Completely. It's a completely different threat. The same things that because if you notice, Igor Thiago wasn't actually tracking back.
No.
Like, Boadi was in tons of space consistently, always. And I think there are multiple things that I think Brazil needs to, Carlo Ancelotti needs to figure out. Rafinha cannot play on the right wing. He needs to be in the 10. And you need to play someone on the right wing, and that person should either be Cunha or Endrick. It's that simple. Like, stop. Rafinha's he's not that pacey against fullbacks, because he was against Mazraoui, who's slow, and he never had the beating of it. That's crazy. That should be the best matchup you have.
I get the sense that I'm happy to be corrected here, but I get the sense that Ancelotti has built this squad to run through Vinicius, which is fine because of the Real Madrid connection and the success. But Vinicius is not a 9. Vinicius moves around and he tends to lean on the flank. Maybe Ancelotti wants like a false 9 in some aspects, but I wonder if João Pedro should have been selected.
100% he should have. 100%. It's crazy that it's crazy that they actually, not even just him. Like, in this game, they brought in Luis Enrique, who I don't watch. I think he's in the Russian league, so I've never watched this guy play. You don't see him in the UCL. Like, Russian teams don't show up. So I always saw like highlights of him. I thought he was an amazing player. Highlights make everyone look amazing. Did he do anything? No. He was just as ineffective. Actually, I think Rafinha actually had more impact than he did. Cunha was more impactful though when he joined. I thought Cunha played well. In my opinion, if you didn't play Paqueta and play Cunha, you actually get more balance because he's a better ball carrier. He's more comfortable going on the wing. He can be in the middle. He's more fluid. He allows him to be more fluid. But I think the scary thing about Brazil is it feels like Carlo Ancelotti's hampering them, and they still drew with Morocco. That's the thing.
Yeah, the Brazilians that I've spoken to have echoed that, saying that they're pretty much saying this is not your older brother's Brazil.
Yeah,
and that's not necessarily the personnel as much as the way they're playing. It's a little bit. It's not Joga Bonito. It's very procedural, very pragmatic, very let's get the result. And for a tournament, that's kind of what you need. But it's not the Brazil that we're used to. And I think a few casuals might get a bit annoyed because we might get used to Brazil scoring just 1 or 2 goals.
Did you see the fans in the stadium? How, like, you could tell they were upset. Like, to be honest, Brazilian fans are they're divas, in my opinion. If you remember, if you go back to 2002, they hated that squad.
Yeah.
They hated Scolari. Couldn't stand him. Because Scolari said, we're not playing Joga Bonito, by the way. We're going to play the way I think is the best way to win a tournament.
Yes.
And until he won, Brazilians hated everything about it. Him bringing Gilberto Silva, they were expecting like ball playing defensive midfielders, and they got like tough as nails, really like the specialists at what they do. And my issue with Carlo Ancelotti is, okay, Casemiro, and there's people don't like Endrick. I don't know if you guys know this, but Endrick is not liked by any of the senior members. The problem I have with that is if you're Carlo Ancelotti and you're looking at this Brazil senior team, and they've been poor in the Copa Americas, in previous World Cups, at some point you have to tell them, look, this kid against Croatia was the reason why we won that game. So you guys need to figure out how we're going to play with him. You can tell Casemiro and them, these guys are jealous that this kid is that good. That kid is better than Vinny. He's better than Rafinha. He is. He really is. Like, I'm not even joking. If you've seen this kid play, he left Real Madrid while they were floundering, right?
Yes.
Goes to Olympique Lyon.
Yep.
And was Olympique Lyon's best player.
Yeah.
And by the way, helped them move from, I think they were like 6th or 7th, and got them in the Champions League position.
Yes.
Like, this kid is no jokes. So if you're telling me you don't have room for him, it makes absolute no sense. João Pedro makes no sense that you pick Neymar, a guy who's been injured for the last 3 years, and you choose João Pedro's played well for Chelsea this season.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you pick him? And he can play in the 10. He can play as a striker. He helps your fluidity. So to me, this was more. I'm actually more confused about how Morocco didn't adjust in game than I am about, because Brazil were there for the taking.
Yes.
And they just didn't capitalize on it. This isn't going to happen again. And that's why I don't like what I'm seeing already. I'm seeing a lot of things. I'm seeing the US being good. I'm seeing.
Whoa.
Let's be honest.
David. Paraguay at home. If that game was in Paraguay, Paraguay win. But we know how Paraguay go on it away from Asunción.
That's what I'm saying. It's still crazy. It's we what was it? Someone said, I don't know if this is true. Someone can fact check this, but apparently America in the last World Cup only scored 4 goals or something, 3 or 4 goals, and they've now matched it in one game.
Wales won. Yes, Iran won. No, they scored 3 last World Cup.
They scored. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So in this World Cup, they've already blitzed their previous World Cup in one game.
No, I think some of that is to do with the opponent. I'm still up there with the US, and I don't care what Lalas or any of those guys say on Fox, but
I don't watch that.
Yeah. But your life is so much better for it. But Pochettino is yet to be the European opponent with that US team. Okay, we can smack Jesse Moss all we want, but he has improved against European opponents. Pochettino against the tougher opponents, not there yet.
It's and again, I said this earlier, but we said this on our thing after the initial shock of Paraguay. What are you doing, baby? No, U.S. is going to be, for us, it's going to be when they play Turkey, that's the measuring stick. That's when we look and say, okay, if this is, because I think that may be one of their only, no, they lost that game. No, they lost to Turkey, I think. Now I'm all over the place. But yeah, the Turkey game to me is the matchup that I'm looking at for the U.S. specifically within their group. But I mean, to continue on that conversation, by the way, with our hydration break for Scotland and Haiti, we just had a sequence 5 minutes ago where McTominay rings the post and then Placide misses Isidore on a cross, just end-to-end action. But Haiti, they're going to have to finish one because there'll be a team that will give you lots of chances, but the finish is the key thing in this tournament so far. Either you have it like the U.S. game, or you don't have it, and it's just
I know
going.
Yeah. I know I'm going to get the ire of multiple Haiti fans, but I'm going to be honest. Haiti's a shocking team. They will not play well against any of the 2 big teams in their group. It's just like the Qatar game. Yeah, the Qatar game. If Switzerland were more clinical, Switzerland beat them 4-6. They created 6 big chances. They had 26 shots to 6 of Qatar. This would have been maybe 6-2. To be fair, I think Qatar should have scored the first goal.
The first goal in the beginning.
Yeah, at the beginning. But in that should still be 6-2. In all honesty, and I think you what's going to happen is similar to what we said about the US, but this is a mean curve, and eventually everything just will. If this is a bell curve and everything goes right to the mean, you're going to see that. You're going to see eventually all the decent sides get more acclimated to the weather, more understanding of these quarters. Because we were talking about this with Musa yesterday, and Musa gave a very good point. He said this feels like the most Americanized World Cup.
Absolutely.
Because you have quarters now. And I said, you know why that's so crazy? Is countries that have good technical teams, like England will have with Tuchel, like Argentina, like wherever Bielsa is at the moment. Where's the Uruguay? So those teams will be good this World Cup. Or they'll be very difficult to play because they will adjust consistently every single quarter. Every quarter, they'll just keep adjusting. So, in my opinion, I think you'll just see teams are going to try and figure out all the changes, all the rule changes that have happened, you're seeing. Oh, there's a
Scotland
mistake.
goal. I'll tell you what that
Oh,
looks like here in a second here. Oh, just
John
direct
McGee.
long ball over the
McGinn.
top. Adams with it. Looks like you got. Oh, who's marking? He gets to the byline. Place. Oh, Adams at the deflection and in. McGinn is okay in this entire sequence. The ball goes wide. Adams get it. McGinn is standing at the penalty spot, and no one is marking him. So when the initial shot comes in and is rebounded, McGinn has the ball at the penalty spot, takes one touch, and puts it deflected in 1-0 Scotland.
welcome to McGinn's entire career.
Yeah,
That's how he's always been. Like at Aston Villa, that's how he plays. You don't understand how he's always open. Let's be honest, that's how Javier Hernandez was, like from Mexico. The ball would bob around and boom, he's got the ball.
him.
There's no one close to him.
Yeah, Nelson, you've been vindicated because Haiti, as we know, they play a high line, and it's perfect when you're pressing and you're really trying to get the opposition to force a mistake. But once that transition happens, they can be a little bit at sea with defense. So
yeah,
I think they're good enough to get a point. They're not in my bottom three, to be honest. I think a team like Tunisia could be there for the taking. They seem to be really disorganized, and there's reports of infighting already. So them, who else is it? Maybe Jordan potentially could get found out. There's 2 or 3 teams that could be the lambs to the slaughter, as you alluded to.
I just think a lot, like, because so how did you guys like Morocco's their change in system? Because they didn't play a deep lying, like the deep block, the low blocks that they played in last World Cup. It's clear this coach decided to play more a high press. What did you guys think of it?
I think a high press can work, but again, with how the game is now broken up, I think if you're going to be a high pressing team, you can't wait until 60th minute to start making changes with that. Even with all the changes that are coming in, you have a hydration break, which kind of shifts the game a bit as you go. But then once halftime, if you're going to play high press, you got to get more bodies to keep that pressure going and moving through. So I think if that's how they're going to play, or maybe they try to attack that team specifically, Brazil specifically like that. Again, once you got to halftime and then you started making, even before halftime, those adjustments were made. I think that's where in this tournament, press a bit and then lay it off a bit and then press a bit more, then lay it off again. I think the first, I was talking with Lane about this on the World Cup. I think like the first 20 minutes of each halves, if you want to go for that, that's when you should be going and pushing for that. But if you can't maintain that for an entire 90, let alone an entire 50. So it's a choice. It's different from what they did last time. But I mean, that's the evolution of what they're trying to do, how they're trying to build their style. Different coach as well. It's bold, but it could run them into situations where they run themselves out of games. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think we all need to temper our expectations. That semi-final team of 2022 is not coming back, unfortunately. There's changes at the head coach level, 1 or 2 personnel changes. Amrabat is not the same Amrabat that was from 4 years ago. Then we need to reset our expectations. If they get to the round of 16, great, good for them. But they are not Africa's biggest hope. To me, that's Senegal. But we can argue about that later on. But in terms of Morocco, yeah, I thought we were going to see a bit more of a technical team. They seem to be a little bit one-dimensional. I thought they would adapt a little bit. Like you said, the better teams adapt. So sometimes in a half, you'll see they'll start off with for example, a 3-4-3, and then they'll adjust to something else. And then before you know it, you're seeing 2 or 3 systems in 30 minutes as they adapt. But we didn't see it. Morocco just seemed to persist with the same thing. And even though they had Brazil there for the taking, they didn't adapt when Brazil adapted. So they might regret that later.
My concern with them is the lack of. I think we spoke about this once before, but the loss of El Nesri, like a clear, solid, brilliant center forward that they had, and this Ibari pick might make people think that was actually because he scored a fantastic goal. Um, you're completely correct. I think there was so one note, so one dimensional this game that my expectations of them have really dropped. Like I am now looking at them as I don't want to see them play a good team. I think they could get spanked. If you play that high line that they were playing against, say, France, or let's even talk about France. I don't even like them against this US team. With the high line, I don't like it. Because I'm a United fan. I've seen Mazraoui enough. If you have pace, Mazraoui's a liability. Like this version of him, he's a lot older. He went to Turkey and he went and shaved his head. That tells you it's over. So he no okay for people who don't understand what I mean is he went to Turkey first to get his hair done. He didn't head the ball for a whole season because he didn't head the ball because I assume he was afraid of like damaging his scalp or whatever. And then he grew his hair out, clearly didn't work out, and now he's bald again. We don't know if he's going to Turkey again. So he might have. If he's done it again, that means he's not heading again. Mazraoui has been he's a very annoying player because you can tell he has the ability on the ball and he's a very good defensive player, but he also doesn't like progress the ball well or doesn't really offer much offensively in the same way clearly Hakimi does. And yeah, it's unfair to say that because Hakimi's, in my opinion, the best right back in the world.
Hands down.
So yeah, exactly. So it's really unfair for Mazraoui, who is a right back, who's being forced to play left back because they just don't have a quality left back. But Amrabat, I thought Boadi would have been more than enough to replace Amrabat because I don't rate Amrabat. But the one thing Amrabat does is he can deputize as a left back. He can, and he's a very good left back, by the way. So the fact that they're just so one note, I don't like this coach. Again, I'm being very harsh. Brazil is a very good team. We'll see how Morocco plays against Scotland or Haiti to really assess if this was just a blip, whether they're just trying new things. Because I don't think Sabarius played striker for them, like in the friendlies, right? He wasn't playing striker.
I don't recall. No,
I don't recall
that either. No.
Yeah. So I think this is more of a what. Do you know what this kind of gave me the vibe of? It kind of gave me the vibe of they're trying to replicate what PSG does, which is your front three all can like dive in and out of position and they all work well. Because Brahim Diaz is technically a 10 who they played on the right. Then you have Sabari, who's an attacking midfielder who can play on the left wing at PSV, but also plays as a striker. Then you have who's on the left side? Canus.
Yeah, Canus.
Who's an attacking mid, who's a 10, who they played on the left.
On the left side, yeah.
They're really trying to replicate these different options. And the people who replaced them, they were clear. Like Ramini came in and he's a forward, he's a striker. He replaced Ibari. The guy who plays for Sunderland. Oh, what's his name? I can't imagine forgetting his name. I apologize. Talbi.
Okay, yeah, I thought you were talking Talbi. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. When Talbi came in, he's a winger. He replaced
Diaz. Yeah.
So like it's clear that they were like, if we can create a really fluid front four, and then we'll just replace them with specialists, maybe that's going to be better. But to me, they just replaced them, and it just became worse.
Yep.
The game just got. It was so. It looked like an old Morocco team. Like pre-semifinals.
Yeah, like a 2018, like a version that gets to the World Cup and then fizzles out in the group stage. Yeah.
Yeah. You just say, oh, it's a talented squad, but they just can't beat the best teams.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a tough ask to ask a team. It's not the same team coming, right? It's not like you're asking, okay, a same group to come out and then replicate it. You're asking a team 4 years later, maybe at most 30 to 40% of that team is still here to replicate that. The new coach and
but is it 30 or 40%? It's they're only losing. They lost Amrabat and they lost El Nesri.
They lost Ziyech and then they lost
Ziyech.
Yeah.
But I think losing Hakim Ziyech is you still have Brahim Diaz who came in, who's been in the form of his life last season. So I think that's like a wash. You also need to give them props. They brought in Issa Diop, who was shocking, by the way, this game, but is a good centre back and is a massive threat on set pieces. Crazy threat on set pieces.
Yeah.
Were you guys shocked by the set pieces? Because I thought they were very poor. They were
I wanted to get to that point. Yeah, because set pieces, it's you. Maybe it's just the hangover of watching Canada be terrible at set pieces, but I'm seeing a lot of it. Just like you see a team like Bosnia who says, "Listen, here's what we're going to do. We're going to Arsenal this. We're going to get our goal, and we're always going to put it into space and work that way." In a tournament where teams, like you said, Nelson, are trying to find their footing early, if you can be even not clinical, just dangerous on set pieces, you could do so much for yourself. But in this game, I felt like, what are we doing with all these chances you're creating for set pieces? And then the final product you're giving us is just, I don't want to come back and say, oh, Morocco is going to be in trouble because of how they played here. But against a better side, if they get further on this tournament, those are opportunities that you look back and say, even if we were dangerous here, maybe that opens up something later. But yeah, they've been poor. I mean, what about when you look at set pieces? Like, what's your view of not only in this game but the tournament as a whole, just set pieces overall?
Yeah, I think we saw it on opening night. Because with respect to Bafana, well, with some disrespect, but respect to Bafana, I'm not counting that game. But when the World Cup started with Korea and Czechia were using a lot of set pieces. It was very much the operation for the early part of the game. And I think it is a soft way of dictating tempo a little bit when you slow things down and you I guess, reset things with an opportunity like that. But teams are leaning towards it. England, in their qualifying, they scored 10 out of the 22 goals via the set piece. And it's not an accident that they brought in. We knew that Saka and Rice were going to get picked, but they brought in Ezra and Madueke. I think because they know how to deal with a set piece. So,
and they also know how to win set pieces too.
There you go.
Yeah.
So there's that too. There's set piece takers and then there's set piece makers. So some teams are going to be using that very much as part of how they create chances as opposed to open play. Now, if I'm Canada with a group where everyone is on 1 point each, 1 goal conceded, and 1 goal scored, guess what I'm working on next week? 2 things. Shooting, obviously, and defending the set piece. Because Switzerland, they can be dangerous in the set piece. Bosnia love the set piece, as we know. And then Qatar is another team that they like to slow things down. So they'll be looking to try and get set pieces against Canada. So that's definitely what I'm working on next week.
I've got a follow-up question though.
Yeah.
Do you not think that the changes they've made for set pieces? I don't know if you noticed, like the 5-second rule for the throws.
Yeah.
Morocco, they had planned. You could clearly tell they had planned a throwing technique. And when they were kind of trying to go slow so that they can give the center backs and the bigger guys enough time to set up
position.
But the ref started counting, and when the guy threw the ball in, you could tell he wasn't set up right, and the attackers weren't set up either, so it just petered out. And I think what you're going to find out is, as the tournament goes, you can tell holding isn't a big thing in this one. It's not like what we've seen in Europe for the past season, where holding was everywhere. This one, you can tell they've been cautioned before the game starts. Hey, if you hold, we're giving pens.
Yeah,
that's clearly a talking point that the referees have told the technical team, the technical staff. The players are fully aware of what's going on. So I do think set pieces, we might see fewer goals. That being said, Canada did concede to a set piece. But that is to the biggest team in the tournament, which makes sense. We're gonna see a lot of, like, I think one of the best games is gonna be tomorrow, the Netherlands-Japan game, because they are very good at set pieces. And Japan are a really technical side. I rate Japan really highly. I hope they beat the brakes out of Netherlands, because we need someone. We can't. Okay, Morocco already discounting them, but I actually think this Brazil squad is good. Carlo Ancelotti is holding them back. I don't know.
So I was very happy with the Japan squad going into the tournament, but I don't know if you guys have seen. There's Mutoma is retired now. He's not even in the squad. Sorry, not Mutoma. Endo has retired. Mutoma has pulled out. So now your midfield has gone from being quite formidable to being quite thin. And if the Dutch have a strength, it's not really up front. I think it's through the middle because of the way they play. I think the overall winner for that is Sweden. I think Sweden go from being a dark horse outsider to a team that can now qualify from that group because of Japan's injuries. We'll see how they overcome it, but they didn't really call up a proper replacement. So it will be interesting to see what happens.
Can I tell you something, Nee? I think you're going to be shocked, because clearly I don't have a life. You should if you watch NEC, which is the Dutch, it's a Dutch club. I would never try and pronounce the last part of their name, but I think a lot of NEC forwards who are called up, so Shogai and Ogawa, are going to shock people, because they don't stop running, and they are very comfortable either in midfield or in attack. And if you haven't seen them play, which is really interesting, because they're going to play the Dutch, and these guys who clearly play in the Netherlands, but most of the Dutch team players all play outside of Europe. Outside of the Netherlands. It's going to be interesting to see how they try and track these players, because they play one of the craziest systems in world football, NEC.
You know the reason for that? There is a reason. It's a Dutchman by the name of Wiel Curver.
Yeah.
So Wiel Curver went out to Japan in the 80s or 90s, and he introduced what is the Curver method. Now, when Japan, before they won the right to host the World Cup in 2002, the J-League was coming up, and the J-League, that was early 90s, and part of that, they didn't just establish a league because they felt like it. In Asia, in East Asia, they have like 100-year plan. So they not only wanted to establish a league, they wanted to establish a way of playing, and they wanted to establish a culture that would allow them to become world champions. So what we're seeing 25 years on, 30 years on from that, is what we're seeing now with the Japanese men's national team. The way that, as you say, they had that positionless play. The fact that Maeda from Celtic, who dominates the Scottish league and domestic scene there, can't even get a game for Japan because they are very versatile, as you say. That's all come from that system that Curver introduced. Now the women have already achieved the goal. They won the World Cup in 2011. But now you're going to see the men. I think they made the quarterfinals in 2002. No, they made around 16, 2002. They have made the quarterfinals once from memory. But the goal is to become the best in the world. They've won Asia, so they've achieve that, they want to win the World Cup. So I get exactly where you're coming from there.
I'm going to be honest with you. I genuinely think this Japan side, and this will sound crazy to people, this Japan side is a semi-final level team. This is not a joke. This is a serious team. Like, they have probably, outside of Spain, the best technical side. Outside, just please understand, I am accounting how good France is. I'm accounting of how good Belgium is, Netherlands, England, so on and so forth. And technically speaking, the Japanese are clear. They're not even close to them. They're closer to Spain than they are to France. The gap is crazy.
And the Japanese number 9 is going to track back. The French number 9 is not going to track back.
Every single person. It's like, for people who haven't seen them play, this Japan side is like watching PSG. Every single person works hard. Every single person tracks back. Every single person is comfortable receiving the ball anywhere on the pitch. They don't panic when they get the ball in defense. They don't panic. They will play football. And a good thing is, I don't know if Zion Suzuki is going to start. They might play a different goalkeeper. But they have goalkeepers that are 6'3+. That was an issue, if you remember, when they played Belgium. Because they just got dominated in the air.
Yeah.
But I guarantee they have. It's interesting. It's like they run the Japanese football team the way European clubs run their stuff, where they actually notice, oh, we have a failure in this department, and they start like planning how to replace. Okay, we need taller defenders. We need midfielders who have the ability to not only defend but play what midfielders should do. Like, this is a crazy good team.
Very organized. And the idea of collective suffering, everyone is working together for a goal, very much like you said with PSG. So Zion Suzuki is a sore point, by the way, but yes, your point is noted.
Zion, but Zion was never coming to Ghana. Like Zion,
he was never good.
You're not helping. You're not helping. When I see Montari playing for Qatar, I can now come up with an 11 of World Cup players who have Ghanaian ties. It's embarrassing.
You sound Nigerian now. Now you sound Nigerian. Like, oh, look at all the Nigerians who are representing other countries.
But Zion Suzuki has the option of US, Ghana, and Japan. And at this point, I think the ranking is Japan, US, Ghana.
Yeah.
That's how he would. That's how. And by the way, I think he chose the right option.
Of course he did. I mean, I say it with exasperation.
I hear
I get why the players make the decisions that they make. My issue is with the system. The system's broken. That's why the players are making such decisions.
Oh, yeah, of course. That's a different conversation.
Yeah.
Right? That's a whole different conversation in itself. He just had this question here, which I'm wondering, like, how have you found the ball so far this year? It's like because
no, is it?
I don't know.
I haven't seen any ball dynamics that make it look like the Jabulani.
I mean,
apparently it is, but I'm not gonna say like it's bad or it's good. But what I will say is I've seen a lot of American football field goals being kicked, but that's just maybe the strikers.
No. Because with the Jabulani, first of all, the Jabulani was. It's not that they couldn't keep it down. It was the leagues in Europe didn't use it, so they never had enough time.
There you go.
But people like Diego Forlan and them trained in preseason with the Jabulani in mind, so they understood its ball dynamics. That's why the Jabulani was such a big thing in that World Cup. But I guarantee that ball was probably played in Europe and in other leagues. So I don't see the long speculative shots that people did for the Jabulani, because you just didn't know where the ball was going. All the long shots you see. Let's be honest, I haven't seen a lot of long shots in this World Cup yet.
That part, well, the long shots I've seen are listen, they're reaching the 200 section of these stadiums. So, like,
yeah, but we don't have good technical
strikers,
long shooters anymore.
Yeah,
like that doesn't exist anymore. We used to have an abundance of them,
which is a fair counter to that point.
Yeah, but I haven't had any complaints about the ball because I assume they've already been using it for quite some time now. They're pretty aware. Yeah,
I mean, we've had 2 games in Mexico, which are altitude. One of them, again, I'm not counting because the opposition was just rubbish. But yeah, two games in Mexico at altitude, that might change the dynamics a little bit. So let's see what happens with more games at sea level.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was the thing with the Jabulani in South Africa. You had some of those games in Johannesburg and Pretoria and Uruguay. The game against Ghana, for example, that was Soccer City. And yeah, I still remember Richard Kingston just planted as Forlan shot just bobbles and goes past him. Sorry,
he was planted, but like in both goals in that game, both the goalkeepers, for whatever reason, one hopped middle at the wrong, like they're at the right spot. They one hop middle, then they realize, oh, it's back far left, and then they're gone. Yeah. And the goal goes in. For both goalies, it's a hop that was my teaching moment, teaching kids. Like, listen, read the ball, read it, then move. Don't try to read the movement, read it, and then move. Because those goals could have been prevented, in my opinion, but that's a whole nother conversation for another day. But yeah, we got the stats up for against Scotland and Haiti. Haiti is playing like Haiti does, which is transition, and then if they could figure out the final third, they'd have more than one shot on target. But hey, this is the life we live. This is where we have. So that group right now, if the results stand, Scotland leads that group with Brazil and Morocco drawing at 1 point apiece. Which, you know what, frame that moment, Scotland. It'll be a great moment for them.
I don't think it will be. I don't think the Scottish hate Steve Clarke. The Scottish qualified in spite of Steve Clarke. So if they're winning the group, that means he's getting extended.
You have to choose. Listen, Haiti. They look at their Haiti friends and like, look, Sak Basse, man. We need this. We need this. We need this draw over here, please and thank you. But yeah, like we talked about that group. Yeah, like Group A, Mexico's group is really simple. Mexico and Korea, 3 points each. Canada's group is a group of life and death.
I like the way you think that's so clear. I don't think it's clear. I think Mexico versus Czech will be a really interesting game.
When I say by clear, I mean where they stand right now. They have 3 points. Yeah. No, I don't know if it's clear because I think, like you said, the Czechs versus Mexico will be a very interesting battle because I think the Czechs can do a lot better with set pieces. They'll actually earn set pieces, and then from there, we'll see if Mexico can defend set pieces a little bit better as they've shown, and I think that'll be a very interesting. South Africa, you assume if you're trying to be optimistic, they're done. But like
South Africa done.
They're done.
Did you
play for pride?
Did you see the clip of the South African pundits?
Yeah.
Yes.
Just how Benny McCarthy was. You could tell. The fact that they ask a question and no one answers is just beautiful. Like that's just wow. This is where we're at. This is where we're at. This is what's happened.
He's the whole continent united.
Listen, I had some of my Mexican friends were just like, "Yo, what's with this thing?" I'm like, "Research."
Wait, I've got a question. Sorry to cut you off, but is this the most hated group of African teams that have represented Africa?
Most hated group of African. Every team has a
because people don't like Morocco for obvious reasons. People don't like Egypt because, it's Egypt. Well, let's be honest. North Africans have always had issues with Sub-Saharan Africa. So Sub-Saharan Africa we don't really see ourselves in the same boat with them. So, but then for Sub-Saharan teams, we have Congo, who we know won't win any game. So that's fun. And then we have Ivory Coast who are good, Senegal who are good. I think those two are beloved. But I can understand why Senegal are probably hated by maybe the Moroccan contingency. So the only loved countries are what? South Africa right now is not loved for because of all the stuff that's going on. At the country, we don't talk about it because
I think the only loved African like it would be the vibiest teams would be Cape Verde. Everyone's looking at Cape Verde like, hey,
but here's the thing, and I'm so sorry to say this. Does any African, even if you gave them the map and say, could you please point Cape Verde? Heck, if we play this game now with you two, no, of course it's you typing.
I don't know what you're talking about, sir.
If I pulled up the map, you wouldn't know where Cape Verde is.
I would because I'd actually.
You wouldn't.
I would because I knew where it was before.
Where's Cape Verde? Where's Cabo Verde? Where is it? Look at the map. I need you to stop looking at the map.
Look at
oh, you lifted your hands like that's a way.
Look at my hands.
Close your eyes.
Look at my dead phone.
Close your eyes.
Look at everything.
Close your eyes. Where's Cabo Verde?
Okay, so if the continent is drawn out, you have your back.
Yeah, you go west, north, east, south.
It's on the western. It's a western island off of the P of the continent.
Look at him. Look at him literally looking at the map.
I'm looking at the map.
I like how Nee's quiet because Nee's also Googling.
No, I didn't even try. I just I'll probably hit Sao Tome and Principe instead or something. My question is this. If it's Cape Verde, which I believe translates to Green Cape, or Cabo Verde, which translates to Green Cape, why is there no green in the flag? That's my eyeball sound because I've been trying to process that in my head.
You try doing that, but they're blue. Well, exactly. why is Italy blue? But then there's no blue in their flag. But that's a whole other thing. But yeah, look, and then there's Ghana. Ghana is just like, look.
No one cares about Ghana because we know you guys are gonna get grouped, so we keep it moving.
Well, no, so. I know you were kicking up for them in the last couple of episodes, but
yeah,
I genuinely think that Panama will get a result, if not beat Ghana.
Okay. You missed an episode where I watched one of the friendlies that Ghana played, and I'm like, you guys are done.
Yeah, you saw the way
you guys. I watched the friendly, and I was like, no, this is poor.
He saw me die inside on YouTube.
How did someone describe it? Tactically inept. I thought,
yes.
No, Ghana might genuinely, like, I think they're still good enough to get a point, but that's the peak.
Not when they're spending all their time trying to get one midfielder through to a country.
Well, you know why? Because he's the best midfielder the country has.
Oh, I don't doubt that. But
for every reason why I know they want him, even though it's bad, it's also because he literally is your best midfielder. If this was Essien, this would have been the same thing.
So, as an Arsenal fan, if he had played in that semi-final against PSG not last season, but the season before, Arsenal goes to the Champions League final, they'd probably be 100% suspended, so he didn't make it. But whatever happened to the days of no comment because the legal matter has not been resolved? Why can't we just go back to that? Why do I need to see governments and football associations saying, "Oh, he's this, oh, he's that"? What happened to no comment because the legal proceeding is still taking place?
Can I actually respect the North American contingencies? Because if this was in Europe or in South America, he's on the boat, 100%. He's on the ship. He's going because of how much, shall we say, the finances of this World Cup. There's not a single sponsor that would want to be aligned with a game with a person like him. That's it. That's just a thought. This is like if the Netherlands brought in Quincy. What's his name? Quincy Promise or whatever his name is. No, what's that guy's name? The guy who's the Dutch player who's in Russia.
Oh, the murder charge.
The murder charge. Yeah. That guy.
It's just the murder charge.
That's the one.
What's his name? I can't remember his name. It's Quincy something.
see that. Now let me look that up.
But yeah, I mean,
Quincy Promes.
There you go.
Yeah, I knew it was close to Promise. I just forgot.
Right.
Quincy Promes. Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Terrible guy. But a really good player. But the Netherlands have multiple good players. That's the only reason they don't care. if they needed a striker, trust me, if Brand Brobby wasn't in form, whew.
That's another sore point. Brian Brobby. Go on, Kwasi. Tell me that Brian Brobby was never going to play for Ghana as well. Come on.
Oh, Robbie could have paid for Ghana,
Bobby
but
definitely
it's the FA. It's the FA.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had to wait for Brobby to have an exceptional season.
No, they
You
tried
just
to get
had
him
to
before he had an exceptional season. He was just like, nah, I'm good.
Nah.
But Brand Brobby has always been a good player, though. Like, it's not like
Yeah.
it's just that he played exceptionally well for Sunderland. But prior to that, he was always good.
Well, they were trying to get him because when he was at Ajax.
Yeah, but at
Right.
Ajax, that's what I'm saying. I remember. So when he was 20, he scored 13 goals in a season,
Mhm.
and then the next season he scored 18,
Mhm.
and then the season after, I don't know if it was injuries or changes in play style, he went to 4. Then he left.
Mhm.
Then he went to Sunderland.
Okay.
So he was always an elite striker.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So in goal we have Suzuki.
We're doing this? Okay, fine.
Oh yeah,
Let's
we
do
are doing this. We are doing this. So Suzuki's in goal. We got Frimpong, Jeremy Frimpong, Jarrell Kwanzaa.
Yeah, but Kwanzaa's tough. I don't think.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's strip away
Let's play it
let's
out.
strip away the will they or won't they, but let's just
Okay.
guys who are playing. So I'm gonna throw in a Chimpong from Chelsea.
From
I know
Chelsea.
he hasn't decided, but he's leaning towards England.
Mhm.
Kobe Manu, Richard Larea, Jeremy Doku, Brian Brobby, Muntari from Qatar, John Yabo from Ecuador.
yeah.
Memphis Depay.
He's an Ecuadorian Ghanaian.
Yeah.
You see how bad this is? every confederation is just like, yep, we'll have that. We'll have that.
I didn't even know. I didn't even know that was a connection. But this is did a Ghanaian get lost?
But this is Ghana. The second they'll forget about anyone, but then the second because he's Bolivian now, or one of them. Like it was either Bolivia or not out. There was a goalie that was playing there, and then they naturalized him, and like, oh, we're gonna call him up, and that's when the FA was like, actually, we're going to call him up now because we think he's been playing so well. Like you guys are not serious.
That's what I'm saying. So the system is broken because
But
Japan and all these other countries are getting in early. They're using analytics or whatever scouting to identify these guys.
Y Scout. They're all on Y Scout. These guys, trust me. All these governments are all in Y Scout. But wait, I've got a thing though. For all of the players you've said, you guys got lucky and got Semenyo, and Semenyo balances out all of them. Because right now, Semenyo would have been a starting player for England.
Fair, and he had the choice. He did.
And he had the choice, and he chose. So for all those, like, okay, Frimpong was never going to choose Ghana because Frimpong is actually good enough for the Dutch team.
Yeah.
Semenyo is good enough for the English. Semenyo is good enough for every country. And that's a very, very lucky situation to get a player that good for your nation.
But it is a good win for Ghana, but the issue is now with Kudus out, Partey can't get in for legal reasons. Other injuries, Lamptey's injured. Now he has the weight of 30 million people on him. Everyone is expecting him to carry the team. That for a first World Cup, that's a lot, especially when you have the shadow of Asamoah Gyan and the generation from before.
From 2010.
But,
It's been
true.
16 years.
Yeah, but it's not. But that team is not entering that World Cup with that type of energy.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think
you say that, but you then look at what the ministers and the guys in the GFA are saying.
But that's the ministers in the GFA. That's the ministers in the GFA all the time, talking as if like, yeah, we believe this could. Yeah, I believe too.
No, but I think but I think what Nee's saying is that means if you're seeing the ministers talk like that, that is actually a common sentiment in Ghana
Yes.
that the expectation is you should be that good.
Yes.
Like you're being objective. You know the way you weren't being objective about Canada? You're being objective now about Ghana. You're looking at Ghana and saying, yeah, that team isn't good enough. That's what we're saying. But the Ghanaian fans in Ghana, there's probably a decent contingency of them that think, oh, we're on the same level as Senegal.
Yeah, okay, probably. There's probably some, but we have that conversation where it's just like, no. Is Ghana a good African side? Yes, but what is good now?
No,
for them, good. They're 15th. They're top 15 in the continent.
Yeah, top 10. I think you're top 10.
I don't think we're top 10.
I don't think.
I think so. I think we moved South Africa from the list.
You know what? On that point,
I think you're top 10. Let's go down the list. It's Morocco, Senegal, Egypt, Algeria, Ivory Coast, Mali,
I guess.
Nigeria.
Would you take Cameroon over them?
Oh, no. Cameroon is shocking. Cameroon is in a worse state than Ghana. Cameroon have the exact same issue that you guys have. They have Mbumo up top, and they go, let us hope. They have Mbumo and they have Baleba. That's it. They have two players, and they hope that's enough to get them somewhere. You guys actually have good players. They are injured, though. That's another issue. You have Kudus who's injured, right?
Yeah.
You have Semenyo who plays there. You have Fatah when he decides to show up. Yeah. You have
Salisu is injured.
You have
Jiku is injured.
Jiku. You have Cheriaki or whatever you told me his name is, Keriachi or something.
Oh, Irachi.
Like you have good players. You actually have a good selection of players. South Africa, the whole team is Mamelodi Sundowns.
I was about to say.
Just go to Mamelodi Sundowns.
It's just Sundowns and friends.
And then one Orlando Pirates guy. Like that's literally the entire squad of Kaizer Chiefs, or whichever good South African squad is. You guys are a good team, but like let's be honest. It's just because you're seeing injuries, the expectation of what happened in 2010. That's the only reason you're assessing your team rather harshly. But you're in a rebuild phase at the moment.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah, you're in the rebuild phase.
And I would just like the GFA to do some more building and less read.
It's the same way I feel about Canada. I don't like the way some, and I'm putting Akwasi on this list. I don't like the way some people are viewing Canada as a round 16 team, when I'm like, no, this is a group stage knockout maybe team. Maybe.
I think the draw has been helpful. I think we would have had a tougher group.
Yep.
But with a marksman or with someone who takes their chances, that team is a round 16 team for sure.
Yeah.
But the issue is Jonathan David has lost his mojo. He has lost his mojo. You're relying on Kyle Larin over 90 minutes probably isn't a good idea. I think he does his best work as a sub.
I don't think it should. As much as I got excited, I don't think it should start. I think you do the exact same thing.
Yeah, and you can't start Oluwaseyi and David Promise David together. That's not a good idea.
So
you have to have
Jonathan
David starting.
Who do you play?
You have to play Jonathan David.
So you play? No, that's what I meant. Who do you play with Jonathan David?
I think they want Promise David to be fit, but I don't know if he can play a full 90. Or
if you actually look at that game again and just remove the blinders and ignore all those bad shots, those two actually complemented them. They complemented each other very well. The problem was they just couldn't finish.
Yeah.
And I think if Jonathan David, by the third game, gets his mojo back, because here's the truth. At Juventus, he wasn't getting regular game time. So if you do give him regular game time at the World Cup, and he slowly gets back to Jonathan David of old, where he scores one every 2 or 3 games, then eventually by the third game, he will bang. And you want it to be that case.
That is true.
Against Switzerland. So if he bangs against Switzerland, you have Jonathan David back.
And another player who we back by then will be Alphonso Davies, which makes a difference because
Is he coming back though? Are we?
Oh, he'll be back. He started training with the team. I think even a day or two before the Boston game. So
I think we're watching that boy. I think we just accept the guy's crocked.
I think he may come off the bench against Qatar, depending on the situation, but he definitely starts against Switzerland, and he makes a difference because they were lacking on the left side. When he can run, David can move around a lot more, and you have a bit more chaos in the box, and then maybe you get more finishing from that.
Would you play him on the wing, or would you play him as a fullback?
I would play him. I would have him as a fullback that inverts. I mean, Marsh plays him on the wing anyway, but
it depends who he has in front of him. If you have, like, he's a fullback for there, and I think that the problem with starting him as a fullback is typically in the fullback role, he is basically the last man back. Now, this is where I say Bombito is more important having back, because as well as Luke Defoe's role played, like, Bombito's pace is erase mistake pace. It's how you would use Davies in terms of the last man back, depending how sometimes Bayern uses it. Now, where that becomes problematic is your two fastest players are coming back off of serious leg injuries. So can they handle... It's one thing being fit, but then it's having the muscle memory kick back in, and then it twitching, and then the feeling of, like, he went down in that one game against Bayern where we just felt something. And again, Bayern said, "Oh, it was just nothing." And, this is where I will always go back to Bayern. It's like, yes, he's been rushed this entire season. So to me, it's just like, you rushed him the whole season, Bayern. But now that,
but I've got a question. Why? Just as because you watch more Canadian, you track Canadians more than me. Why do you rate Bombito when he hasn't really played any games last season?
I rate Bombito based off of... He didn't play many games last season, but for what he had played in that year, Copa America, going over to Nice, that stretch to me, and it's fair for based off what his lack of play this year, because I am someone who will always say I need to see it consistently. I'm putting a lot on that stretch where he goes MLS, Copa America, and then to Nice, and he's basically starting at all three levels. And yes, had a few adjustments once he got to Ligue 1, but I thought that his form there, right up until injury, was good. And that's why I rate that there. Going against my normal logic, which is, great, he had a good stretch. Now let's see it over consistency. Let's see it over time, which I am still that person. But that's where I'm putting that faith. That's where the faith or the hope goes in, based off of that stretch. The problem with that is, like you said, it's a player who's out of form. He may be fit enough to play, which is something that we've had that conversation. We're going to have a lot of players who are fit, but they don't have the form. And that's where it's going to be, how many games do you need to knock off that rust to look normal when you're coming in arguably, 2 games, 3 games into the tournament, and now you're stepping in and it's okay, welcome, you're going right to the deep end. It's a round of 32, or you're playing against Switzerland, and by the way, we need a point in this game if everything goes well against Qatar to make sure that we stamp our way into the round of 32. That's a lot to put on a player, not only physically to go up to that space, but then also just after the mental toll coming back. The question I wanted to ask you before I got stuck on this, did that answer that question well enough for you, Nelson? Actually, before I jump off of that? Okay. The question I wanted to ask is, to that point, yes, I think you look at the striking pair for Canada against Bosnia, and their finishing was poor, but they worked well against each other. You're playing another side that's probably going to sit back and defend. Now, not as big as Bosnia, because my logic would have been, I think you start Laird and Promise for that game. And then
I'm going to be honest, boys. I don't see why you guys even have any sort of rating for Promise. Promise is so poor. Like, for a big lad, he's a proper big lad.
He's a proper big lad.
And he is so shocking in every aspect of the game. The game is either behind him or in front of him. He doesn't like using his physicality, which I always find that funny when you see big guys who don't like, the challenge of like going 50-50 with players. I think the Kyle Larin thing, he looked good because Jonathan David and Tanny were so good at like forcing errors and making the other team run consistently. So when Kyle Larin comes in, he's real fresh legs. If you play Larin first half and he doesn't score, and you bring in Jonathan David, those center backs are not tired whatsoever. They're not tired.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying there.
Yeah,
my logic is just, I think in terms they both, let's be real, both strikers pairs created well enough in their time. The only difference was you saw the first pair just be just dreadful at finishing. And then you saw Kyle Larin come in, he got a goal. Yes, you got Promise happening, but it's a flick on by Promise to Kyle, who plays it off, and then he scores. And so if I'm gonna be a prisoner of that moment, that my prisoner of that moment says, maybe based off of the team that I'm going to be playing, maybe they're not as big, maybe they're not as physical as that, and maybe if you have the physical, maybe the more statuesque strikers in that situation, you have more of the ball. You can go, whether you're spamming crosses, whether it's getting the ball into the middle to them with their one touch and putting the ball in the frame, maybe that is more successful against a side that will sit back and defend and try to play more in transition like you want to be. Because that's how I'm reading that game, basically. And then hopefully, being the most optimistic, hopefully you're able to score more than one or two. And then if you're able to do that, then in my hypothetical world, then when you sub on Tanny and then you sub on Joe David, then when you are in that mid defending and then you get the ball, you can release pressure. Then you have a Tanny who's running into space. Then you have a Joe David who can help out in the midfield, but also run into space. And I think that might suit those players better. Not to say that they were bad against low blocks, but in a more transition, I think that suits their game a little bit more. And I think Qatar will give them more of those opportunities, I feel. That's where my logic kind of sits in terms of why I would possibly think about putting a Promise and Kyle as your starting strikers against Qatar versus that. But I'm welcome to hear how that's a stupid idea or how that's a great idea or wherever you find yourself on it. But that's the way that I reason it to myself.
Can any of them defend the set piece?
I think bigger bodies could help.
Okay,
looking at 6'4", 6'2".
That might be a start. That might be a factor.
It might be. Because again, right, and we talked about this yesterday, like rewatching the goal that Canada concedes, to me, it's on the keeper. Don't move, right? And Nelson called it out first, and then I rewatched, I was like, no, yeah, you are right. He moves. If you have a defender on the man, have the man mark the man. You don't have to give that additional, because once he moves to near post, he's already out of position for that. And I think that's where it is. So if that can help with set pieces, I don't know if Qatar are going to try to hit as much on set pieces, but their tying goal is in transition and he gets over a center back. Maybe at that point you are looking at whether it's an Alfie Jones sitting back there who's a little bit more statuesque. Maybe you're looking for a little bit more height with a Waterman who is just there. But I think I like my that's how I reason it with myself. But I am fine being wrong in that situation. I really am. By the way, guys, it's still 1-0. Haiti playing with the ball, but Haiti cannot connect in the final third. Again, another thing that we've talked about a lot.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm not going to besmirch Haiti at all. I think for them, it's mission accomplished getting here.
Oh, they're making it here as the World Cup. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a diaspora team. The coach hasn't set foot in Haiti, probably never will because of the situation there. The fact that he's able to get the team to qualify, having to play qualifying matches in Barbados and Curacao. That's the achievement. Convincing guys to come and play for Haiti, because he hasn't been able to get Haitians on Haiti to play for Haiti. That's the victory for this team.
Agreed. Fun fact: what's the last game that Haiti played on home soil?
It was 2021 World Cup qualifier against Canada in Port-au-Prince.
That is correct.
And yes, I think it was just after that there was a qualifier against, was it Guatemala or someone, and there was a robbery. And after that CONCACAF, like, yeah, we're not doing this.
I remember that. Yep. But yeah, but
there was a robbery. What happened?
Yeah. So the team bus for the visiting team was stopped on the from the hotel, and armed gangs got on and intimidated these guys and threatened them. I'm not sure if things were stolen. I can only imagine what happened, but the team was shook up. They went back to the hotel and said, "You know what? We are not leaving the hotel until game day, and we're not going outside. That's it. We're just going to barricade ourselves in a hotel, and we're not coming out again." So after that, it was pretty much agreed that there'll be no more games in Haiti.
Interesting. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and it's remarkable that they have one probably a top 5 of their youth programs. They're always competing well in those competitions. They're still somehow getting players to Europe. Youth and up. They're recruiting well. They're getting players. And so, like he said, diaspora side, no doubt. This is getting to the World Cup is their World Cup, right? They fall into the categories, like I said, for like a Curacao, a Cape Verde, like leave with something, a goal, a draw, a towel, a blade of grass. Just leave with something that commemorates that. Have the vibes. That's why I was really happy to see them, when they played New Zealand in their pre-World Cup friendly. And, they had a sold-out stadium in Fort Lauderdale where Inter Miami played. I was like, yeah, that's the vibes there. And in better conditions, you'd have much more Haitians coming into the stadium and supporting their team. But I can understand why some aren't.
Well, that's another thing that we haven't even got to that part. The fact that they have 3 games in the US and the fans can't even travel there. I hope in the future, because after this tournament, all of CONCACAF will have to qualify again for the next World Cup. I hope we see a situation where home games are played in Montreal.
That timing that would be the ideal. Either Montreal or Florida would be ideal, because again we had the women came and they played, and I remember like some of the Canadian fans were like, "Why is this?" I'm like, and it was one of those moments where I was like, you realize that they've never had a home game in Czechs Watch 5 years. Let them have this.
Yes.
But yeah, Montreal would have been a great thing, and this is why I think they definitely did miss out on not hosting. I can understand the reasons why you don't want to host the game, especially now that you're like all the pushback, the blowback that comes with that. But a nice ball through, but too deep for Haiti there. But if they were hosting, Montreal, you could have had any of the North African teams play a friendly there. You could have had Haiti play there. Any of the French colonies could come. Brazil has a strong population in Quebec, Montreal. So they could have had a lot of people come through and it would have sold out. But I can understand the logic. But that's where, hey, Olympic, whatever is happening. What's going on with Olympic Stadium, Neil? Like, have you been following that?
I have. It's time that you mentioned it. So that is a weird one because, as you two might be aware, Vancouver is going through a situation where the lease is coming up at BC Place, which is a World Cup stadium, as of next week. As what am I saying? As of 2 hours from now, when Australia plays Turkey, but said stadium is coming up to the end of the lease, and the Whitecaps are in a dispute with the province as to whether they'll continue. It's a dispute over revenue. I think Vancouver Whitecaps want $10 million, and right now they're getting $3.5 million in income. So the threat is that the Whitecaps will relocate. Okay, and the MLS commissioner is very adamant that they find a solution. Now, while he's been having such discussions in BC, he's been championing the idea of Montreal, CF Montreal moving from Saputo down the road to the Olympic Stadium, which is currently under renovations. Imagine that. The Montreal team playing MLS games in the Olympic Stadium. Gaba, the commissioner for the MLS, who is on borrowed time, by the way, he's coming to the end of his term. He likes the idea of Montreal playing games in the Olympic Stadium. How do you guys feel about that?
Well, Olympic Stadium alleviates the schedule change.
That's true.
Because for people who aren't aware, the MLS is switching to the European calendar, so it's going basically fall through summer, which makes sense if you didn't have winter and it didn't have a bunch of northern teams, and they're trying to find their way around it by whether that's there, but like the only winter-proof stadium they have, grass stadium, they don't. But the closest would have been BMO. And so it's really them championing Olympic Stadium to me is just them saying, well, you have a facility that you can play in, and that will alleviate us and our schedule change, and it'll fit better for that.
Mm.
But to be perfectly honest, even if you look at the state of both sides, if it wasn't for what was going on with Vancouver, I think we'd be having the same conversations with Montreal, which we're kind of having with them saying, why don't you, go to Olympic Stadium? Because that's right there. And, we have to go. I think for Vancouver, it's far more into building a new stadium.
That's true.
Versus just moving. Because unless they can get the revenue split, which doesn't feel like they'll get, because they aren't the main tenants of BC Place.
Well, right? That's another thing. So it seems like the province is keen on getting a Major League Baseball team, which to me makes absolutely no sense because a lot of people in Vancouver and that part of British Columbia go down to Seattle anyway. So why would Seattle Mariners agree to the idea of having a team so close that would take away from their revenue? I don't think it would ever be agreed to by the Major League Baseball Commission, who probably wants to see a team in Nashville, Charlotte, Portland. Maybe try and bring a team back to Montreal before you even give a thought to Vancouver. But the province seems to like this idea of potentially turning BC Place into a baseball stadium. That is also another layer to that dispute. But I think they find a solution. One thing that gave me some clue was the fact that Jesse Marsh has extended his contract, And who was the main benefactor behind that? The Whitecaps owner. His philanthropy is paying for the salary at the moment, but he's going to take a larger role because at the moment, Marsh is being paid by MLSC, owner of the TFC, the Whitecaps owner, and the guys behind Montreal. I believe it's the Saputos. So with the new contract, it won't be Montreal, it won't be MLSC, it'll be more geared towards the Whitecaps owner. So, and that's someone who puts a lot of money into Canadian soccer as it is.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to find a solution. It probably won't be a new stadium, but I don't think he wants to go through the rigmarole of moving a team to America.
Which, I won't lie, if you try to start reading tea leaves, this National Development Center that they were given approval to start looking for, if I'm going to put on my tinfoil hat and start to try to connect dots, and then I see that the Whitecaps ownership were the majority payees into the men's national team coach, this fee, if I'm, speculative, like just purely speculation, this feels like okay, we're doing this, so Canada Soccer, when y'all are looking to build your facility and stuff, I mean, how about we kill two birds with one stone here and have a national stadium and a development center and some other pitches in Vancouver that the Whitecaps can use, but then also can be the home for the national teams when they come in as another host for them. It feels like that is, again, trying to connect dots where maybe nothing is there, maybe something is there.
Let's go one step further because you are onto something. Where is Canada based? Where is the men's national team based for the World Cup? They're based in Vancouver.
Like Vancouver, yeah.
Right? They didn't choose Toronto, which is where they usually play their home matches. They chose Vancouver, and they're pretty much close to BC Place. That's where the kind of like the national center is anyway, or the de facto national center. And as of last Monday, Canada Soccer did put out a request for proposals for said national training center. So I think Monday is when they, well, in the next 2 weeks, there's going to be like a question period. There's going to be discussions. And I think that's when you'll see stakeholders from BC and others come in. But yeah, I would wager that our friend in British Columbia is a front runner for that, because that project is probably going to be 250, 300 million to build. That don't grow on trees.
It doesn't, no. But I think having that, and then you have to see it, I think it lays well to have a bunch of people already chipping in of semi-public, semi-private funding to come in. Because, that's always been the interesting thing with MLS, just the idea. Canada isn't exactly for like franchisees, Canada doesn't bend over to sports facilities or sports teams to build them on taxpayer dollars often, if often at that. And so I think the fact that it feels like they're laying the foundation and do that and put it there. I know at one place they had what was it? The Woodbridge was the idea. They were going to try to have a development center. That was like the first time I remember hearing ideas about that back in 21. That has just been an idea. And realistically, there have been other things. I think wherever it goes, I would love for it just to be a grass facility, because we don't have enough. Our only major grass facility in Canada is BMO, or Toronto Stadium, as people will know it over the next 6 weeks.
There you go. That's a very good point, because I know it has been brought up. We don't have enough. Yeah, it's strange to say this, but we don't have enough pitches in this country, enough grass pitches, and part of that is because of the weather. I brought this up with someone and kind of went down like a lead balloon, but I brought it up. I said, yeah, people at the high level, executive level, are talking about the fact that we need more pitches in this country, not just grass pitches, but pitches in general, so that people can play on, so we can just get the pathway from kids playing soccer to continue on to playing in pro leagues to playing for the national team. We need to build it so they can come. That's one thing. And the other thing is, with national teams, there are national teams that will not come to Canada because of the surfaces.
Right? So, yeah.
Some teams just don't want to play on turf. And Messi in MLS, he mysteriously gets injured before having to go to a team that plays on turf.
Yeah. It was because even like it was surprising when he played Champions Cup for Miami last year in Vancouver. I was like, oh, he actually came. Good for you, my guy. Good for you, good sir. Sure, but no, I think the lack of the pitches is definitely going to be a thing, because we don't. It literally goes BMO, Saputo, and then the next biggest grass pitch is like, I think it's a Calvary Stadium.
Oh, McMahon.
No, not McMahon. Calvary CPL.
Okay. Yeah, I know the one. Right.
That's called Wanderers Ground, but it's not Wanderers Ground.
I'm gonna have to look it up. But yeah, it's the boutique stadium.
Yeah,
and it's not ideal.
No, it is not.
I did wonder about that, because what made me think about that was the 2031 Women's World Cup, which, as some of you may know, is going to be in CONCACAF. It's going to be the U.S., Jamaica, Costa Rica. I'm missing someone. Help me out. Is it Mexico, Akwasi?
I thought it was Mexico, yeah.
Yeah, there's 4 hosts. And then I always wondered, why didn't Canada get in on that? And then I figured most of the pitches, because FIFA usually likes to see grass. So,
they would, but then also, I don't know what the stadium is that they're thinking of, but I would assume that they're a lot. Oh, goodness me. Everyone's bidding? I figured because it'd be Mexico. Okay, who's the bid? Let me get this bid here properly. Okay,
I think with the way the US is going at the moment, I don't think the US wins another thing.
So okay, that's the rational way of thinking about it. Yes,
I genuinely don't think they will.
They probably should not, but
yeah,
money
talks. I'm not joking. I don't think they will. I don't. This is because if you remember, it was a different. It was a different administration.
That's true. That is true.
That bid initially, and by the way, all of the things that they had agreed on during the vetting process, they basically reneged.
But I'll challenge that, because remember, Qatar 2022 was meant to be in this time of year,
in the summer. Yeah,
they committed to that, and then they just quietly switched that to November, December.
But if we ignore just the winter thing, there was never a question on what the stadium is going to be built. They brought that up. They said they will. They said, how about accommodation? And they built hotels specific for it. They talked about alcohol consumption at the stadiums. They allowed that too. They basically every single country has given in to FIFA. The only country that has basically said, we don't listen to anything these guys are saying, is the US. It's the only one. And by the way, this is something that other countries are paying really close attention.
Okay.
This will be coming up in negotiations for every single tournament going forward.
So
Gold Cup and all that stuff is different. CONCACAF and that's complete. I'm talking about the World Cup for men and women's. I think it's going to be a completely different ball game.
Are there enough votes to swing? I hear what you're saying. Are there enough votes to swing against the US? With that in mind,
100%. I think that European bloc in general is European fans haven't gone. This is the thing. There's only one bloc that actually clearly cares about its people, and it's a European one. And the European bloc and the Asian ones will probably vote against going back to the US.
But there's only one bid for the women's one. They're going to get it.
Yeah, 2031, they're going to get this. They'll be unchallenged.
If they're the only ones, then that's a
because then the next one, there's only the 2035. It's a UK bid, right? It's Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, and England.
What's up with all these multinational bids? It makes no sense.
The
UK has enough stadiums to host a World Cup by themselves.
If it depends if it goes to the conversation point where, because I remember there was a little bit of buzz. It died down a little bit, but there was a little bit of buzz of going to 48 teams on the women. And that, to me, I was like, that is...
Yeah, that's not too early.
I thought 32 for the women was too much, but 32 is actually the perfect number for the women right now. Right? The level is there. It's right there. And we didn't... And for me, I would say we wouldn't have been able to sit with 32 for the women if you give us two 32s, and then once you get to 35 you're going to 48. That's a lot. And I think there's still, even I think the environment's really going to dictate the first set of games here and the adjustment for that. But I think on the women's game right now, you have the top echelon of teams, you have a big lot of middle class teams, and then I think going to 48 it's too soon for the women. But I remember there was buzz for that, and that's why more teams were going for that, because that's if CONCACAF ones goes through, that's 4 CONCACAF teams. That's USA. Yes, 4 CONCACAF teams going in and immediately qualifying, which means your qualification for the rest is Canada
I'm telling you guys, I'm sorry, they are definitely going to reconsider this. This is the Men's World Cup, and people haven't bought tickets. This is the first World Cup. People are not buying tickets.
No. We've seen this in previous editions.
No. We've never seen this at this level. No, you've never seen a host nation first game not sold out. We've never seen that before. We've never seen the Mexico Stadium had empty seats. Canada Stadium, empty seats. US Stadium was the only one that I will say looked full. That was the only one. But both Canada and Mexico, we had empty seats. And this is the thing. The big games, we assume, as we get to semifinals and finals, I guarantee those games are going to be full. Just people love seeing the big it's playoffs or whatever in the regular American sports. But it's clear this has been a failure, like just a failure in all aspects of the game. You think people think about this? When Morocco and Senegal, after the issue they had, and the Morocco women's
the AFCON got moved. Yeah,
it got moved. The noise got louder. The noise is getting louder. You're hearing people, multiple federations, football federations across Africa, have come out and said, does everything have to be played in Morocco? Even though they never bid. They're attacking them even though they didn't bid. And I think what you're going to see is this coming up more and more and more often. Like, people already don't like the idea, the concept of the World Cup in North America. And this has made it even worse. This has made it worse for countries like Australia that definitely should have, they should definitely host the World Cup.
Oh, we can talk about that. Talk about that.
but this is getting. But I'm telling you, this is going to affect countries like Australia. Remember South Africa? Do you remember the conversation during South Africa? They literally said, "This is one of the worst World Cups. We don't want to see a World Cup in Africa again." and now we're looking at it, going, "Guess what? South Africa is probably the best World Cup we've seen in years."
Yeah.
Like, it was one of the best one. Like including 98 and 02.
Yeah.
Like the best ones, maybe 94. I wasn't there. Maybe 94 was good. Or I know the 86 one was really good. So, but if you look at like 2010 was one of the best ones ever.
Yeah.
And people still complained about it. This one takes the cake. Takes the bloody cake here.
This one goes too far in the sense that when you have, I guess you could say, the cost of the performance not being able to perform in terms of referees, players. Let's not talk about Party. I'm talking about our Somali friend. I'm talking about officials for different teams who seemingly have clean records but cannot get in just because of their nationality. That's problematic.
It's restrictive access on multiple fronts, right? It's restrictive access for the people who would go there. You have restrictive access for people who this was for, i.e. the people who'd be in those countries because of how you've gate kept, because how the ticket prices have gone up, right? And I'll continue to say that. The second that FIFA was like, you know what, guys? We see the issues you have with your resellers. You know, we're going to step in. I'm like, oh, we're going to have a thing? We're going to have our own portal. And I was just like, flag.
Well, like that's even the big one. If you remember, in Toronto, they wanted to remove the fan zone because the fan zone was free. Which is a fan zone that in every World Cup exists.
There's always
all of them. There's always a fan zone. It's free. They put a big screen, a projector, something. Everybody watches it. Everyone has a good time.
Haiti with a miss here at the end. They've been on the ball, but just haven't been able to come in. I know some people are
the fact that Toronto has had to fight, the Toronto fans had to fight for this thing to come in, showcases how poor FIFA took this World Cup as how much money can we extract from North America so we can this is, you know what this kind of reminds me of? This reminds me of like for the club football when they really tried to push for the Super League. Yeah. Same thing. We've actually implemented it at the World Cup level.
Yeah.
That's what we've done. Put more teams in there, bring in breaks so that we can have
More ads.
More ads.
Revenue.
We've seen a halftime show, which I never thought I'd ever see in my life. Opening ceremonies is one thing. We're going to have halftime shows is a mental statement to say.
And we're going to have Drake. Drake will play at the halftime show. Clip it, screenshot it, whatever you need to do. I'm saying it right now. Drake is going to play that halftime show at the World Cup final on July 19, whatever it is, in New Jersey. It is going to happen.
I thought it was already.
They had selected who was going to be there.
Selected who's going to be there. I thought it was like Shakira and some other bunch of other people.
Yeah, that's not final. They can be part of it.
They could bring. They're going to bring someone in. Yeah.
Oh, they're going to bring him in. They are going to bring him in.
I guarantee if the final was in Canada, for sure, Drake was going to perform.
So right now the lineup for because this is where we're at. Like, yes, by the way, Haiti buzzing, just haven't found the final product. That's happening, guys. But the halftime show is Madonna, Shakira, and BTS.
Yeah.
Okay, an American.
Yeah, it's for the American audience. Like this, and there's nothing wrong, by the way, with trying to appease the North American audience, but it's clear for so long, FIFA have really tried to break the American zone to get Americans really into football, just because of the amount of money and how stupid Americans are. I apologize for saying this, but it's true. Americans are really dumb with how they spend the money. They just look at how expensive the Knicks tickets are now. Knicks tickets now are going for like 40 grand for like right next to the court, like courtside.
Yeah, courtside.
It's courtside tickets are 40 grand.
But we're again, but that
never applies in Europe.
No, but we're event based. Like we're all about the moment and the thing. And
it doesn't change that you're stupid in your spending. It's what I mean. It's the whole understanding that FIFA knew if we come here, there's only one zone in the entire world that is dumb enough to spend $2,000 all the way up.
But it's not even just that. It's just the idea that the ticket was worth triple its original value because how resale works here. How reselling works here. And that's where I go back to my point where it's like, yes,
Akwasi,
how you spent
Akwasi, a ticket in Qatar for the crap games was $15.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
This isn't 3 times. This is 10. This is 100 times. 100 times for bang average games.
But that's where FIFA steps in and is like, guys, don't worry, we'll save you with what? Our own portal. Oh, so you get the service fee. Cool. You're cutting.
No, it's not even the service fee. You're not understanding my point here. My point is the whole setup for FIFA is essentially just get Americans into this game so that we can make as much money, and then they're going to appease us by the next World Cup being what's the next World Cup? Do we know who's host?
Yep, six countries.
It's a 6 country. The next World Cup is the Uruguay, Portugal, Spain, Morocco,
and then 3 South Americans: Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Because
you know what? This might be the last World Cup I watch. I wouldn't lie.
Yeah, because Nelson, again, they did that. Remember, because the rule is technically you kind of rotate through confederations, and so if you cover 3 confederations in your next World Cup, guess where you get to go back to?
North America.
No.
Where?
Asia.
Saudi Arabia, 2034.
Because
get that oil money.
Because Saudi was competing with Australia, then Australia just
quietly
dropped out. I don't know. Yeah, I guess someone in the AFC said, "Yeah, we're not supporting your bid," so they just dropped out.
And so there's only one bid for 2034, and it's just the acceptance that 2034 is probably going to be another Winter World Cup,
Hey,
Yay.
I'm not mad at Saudi. By the way, I think the Qatar World Cup was actually really good.
Compared to this one? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm actually I can't imagine I could say this. Once we ignored all the crazy crap that happened, building the stadiums and all that kind of stuff, which is crazy to say. The games were good. Because here's the thing: Saudi Arabia is a football nation, and I think going forward that needs to be a requirement. Your nation has to be a football nation. I'm sorry.
Well, okay, let's challenge that. Let's challenge that.
Please, go ahead. Go ahead.
Because I think back in the day, I think when Blatter was president, he took it to different parts of the world to grow the game. So the question is, where else do you need to grow the game? Because North America, I feel like you could say in football terms, is the final frontier. Everywhere else has some football culture.
I'd say Asia.
Which
I think
part of Asia?
India, Southeast Asia, India, Pakistan is still heavily cricket.
Okay. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and if you're talking about money, they also have money. So the question becomes: do we now start saying, "Hey, let's start looking at India, Pakistan"? And this is my thing. My point: the World Cup is about the nations that have qualified to go to the World Cup. It's not about the host nation. The host nation, the only thing they're supposed to do is host. They're the hosts. They're not supposed to be the main characters. The main character are the countries. So yes, I agree with you. And that's why I'm thinking what Infantino has done is he's just rushed everybody and put them in this weird acceptance that it's okay for you to go and host a game in the US where we already knew the tickets were going to be expensive. But across the end, we're thinking $300 is what we were thinking. You know, you watch like a Champions League final and it's $300-400.
Yes.
Sure. That's what I thought it was going to be. I'm like, okay, it's going to be painful. Who cares? You're watching the World Cup. At $1,000, that is not even normal.
No.
And then in the US, leave alone, because Canada actually tried. In the US, you heard the stories about transportation costs tripling, multiple other aspects of the game that had never existed prior to this World Cup. The thing about this World Cup is the Americans, because of whatever's going on in America, the news media is not coming out and just telling everyone exactly why this is a horrible World Cup. They're not. This is a shocking one.
Can I?
This is what's Qatar. Go on, Musa.
Yeah, so before I say anything, well, disclaimer: I'm the French African guy living in America.
Not claiming that's just okay. Like I'm there, but I'm not them. Okay, go on.
So I'm leaving. So I heard some of the conversation, right? When it comes to the price of tickets and like sports in general, the American culture, I will say, is that the sports are entertainment, right? Us, when we talk about soccer, football, right? When we wake up, this is what we're talking about, right? And for them, the prices, I'm not as surprised as how expensive the tickets are, because I've attended a lot of sports, even just MLS alone. You will not believe how much my season tickets are to watch my team. I think the only concern is that it showed the rest of the world that here, the sports, it's more of a who has it and who can attend it. And if it's family oriented enough for you to get entertained. Because if your team loses in MLS, you still have a chance to make the playoff, even if your whole entire season is horrible. And I think us European, when we see that and we see the ticket prices the demand that you have in Europe, it's minuscule to what you have when it comes to soccer here. Maybe,
It's
yes,
it's definitely a thing.
we all know, and we love to here. They love to spend money, right? Those that don't have the money will still find a way to pay it for it. That's why credit cards it's huge here, and people find ways to make it happen at all time. And when we consider it versus smaller countries that are able to host it, sometimes it's you know unfair at some point. But if you think about it, FIFA pretty much I think will be in the black maybe for the next two World Cups with the amount of money they will be making.
Can I tell you why this is really dangerous, guys? I grew up, football wasn't my first love. First love is rugby. Always has been. I still watch rugby to this day. You're Australian. I assume you have Australian background. So I grew up loving rugby. Rugby wasn't my number one sport. The reason why rugby isn't loved is because they did exactly what FIFA did, which is they made it an elitist game. And the cost of going to rugby games was higher than going to watch a football game. Football has always been considered the lower class sport. So once you start, the people sport. Once you start creating these narratives of, oh yeah, it's okay for you to spend $1,000. Oh yeah, it's okay that the stadium isn't full. Oh yeah, it's okay that you don't go watch these games. It's normal that you don't do this. It works in the US in a vacuum. It doesn't work in the worldwide perspective. If people start going, oh, I don't need to watch a World Cup. The games are too late. The games are this. All of that stuff really matters. And let me tell you, if you start losing grassroots love for the sport, I don't know if you guys know this, but in England, people in England don't like watching the English national team. They only watch their clubs. There are multiple people in England who are not going to watch this World Cup. They don't watch it. They've never watched it. They don't care for it. They only care about club football. This will become a thing now. This will honestly be, if this becomes a trend, if we assume this is a one-time thing that FIFA realizes, okay, we were trying to make a lot of money, as Musa said, we're going to make a crap load of money. We're good for 2 World Cups, essentially. So we can do passion projects for the next 2 World Cups. We can just choose whoever random countries we want and let's push through. But like this
infrastructure,
they're not building infrastructure.
Let me dream, Nelson. Let me dream.
Let's pretend
come on.
I want to be fair though on one thing when it comes to FIFA though, because I think maybe us purists may not think about it on on a higher level, but the World Cups are made to expand and have the entire world participate in the tournament. So that's why they have tournaments in every continent. The whole premise of it was not to have footballing nations to just host the World Cup, because if that was the case, then most World Cup would have been in South America and Europe. The whole Qatar, one of the reasons, I guess, on paper is that if you want to reach that market, you have to allow them to host it, put the pressure on those government bodies to build those infrastructure to make those countries
but here's the nations. Thing: FIFA doesn't give you the money to build your stadium.
Like FIFA,
you build it you build it yourself. So that whole idea of infrastructure,
they put the pressure to it. Yes.
Yeah. It's pressure's one thing. Pressure's okay. Let's also be honest. FIFA doesn't help anyone. Like the World Cup has been proven from the South African World Cup, from the Qatar World Cup, and the Brazil one. All 3 of them, all those countries have gone at a loss. The only countries that can host the World Cup without incurring a loss are like the European ones, and it's only the big ones. It's only Germany, England, France, Spain. It's only those 4. because they already have large stadiums that they don't need to renovate. All these other countries have to build, all of them. Every other one has to build, and that's an issue.
Well,
But we usually ignore that because we say, "Hey, you're going to host a World Cup. It's going to be a whole thing. You're going to bring in a lot of money," and people don't end up.
Yes.
Yeah, people would come. Tourism, your whole brand of your country changes. To be fair, Qatar's brand changed after the World Cup. More and more people went to Qatar after the World Cup. That's a good thing. But at the same time, let's not pretend that like FIFA's like this benevolent organization.
Oh, we're not that foolish.
We all know that, but the premise of what FIFA is supposed to be and what the World Cup is supposed to be is that. It's just that, we all have you have your your business plan, right? Where all of the things that you want to do and what you're supposed to do with the founders. And like we all know from every country and government bodies in the world, your founders have an idea, but then once you have the people that follow them pretty much destroy what that foundation, this business plan is to begin with. And Blatter was like the raw full cartel, but Infantino, whatever his name is, has showed us that, what, at this point, maybe Blatter and Platini needs to come back.
Yeah.
So.
Which is awful to say.
No, I'm not joking. We need Platini. We need Platini at FIFA right now.
Which is awful to hear that, all of the bribing, but it looks like almost some of the bribing that was happening may have benefited. That's awful for me to say, but almost benefited to some good side of things, because the Qatar thing probably would have not have happened in some of those investments. But now it's showing to a point to where the obvious is so to our faces.
Yeah.
That it, when somebody does not care, that they know that they're scoring us over, but they're still doing it.
Let me tell you, this 48 countries World Cup thing will not be a thing from 2 World Cups from now. It won't be a thing.
Yeah.
All these players are gonna get injured. Players are going to start complaining, and eventually this will end. We know this.
There are certain countries that cannot hold it.
Even the Champions League, you'll see the Champions League change. Listen, guys, forget this. In the Premier League used to have was it 20 teams, and they realized the games there were too many games that they were playing in a short time frame, and every time the English got injured consistently. So they shortened it from 20 to 19, or it wasn't 20, it was 21. And they shortened it to 18 or 19 teams. 19 teams now is what we're at. More games at this point, these players aren't robots. Once you play a World Cup without Lamine Yamal, without Mbappe, without what are the big guys, Harry Kane, Haaland, all these guys are going to get injured. And once they do, no one's paying to watch France or because of Elise. I'm just going to be honest with you. No one's paying $3,000. No. Hey, it's true. You have superstars and you have stars. And a superstar is a Lamine Yamal. It's Mbappe. It's, Kane. You move Kane, you put Ollie Watkins. Yeah, good luck. Good luck paying that.
Hey. Ivan Tony Troopers are out there be like, he will show his worth. Brentford people
I'm just being honest, man. I feel bad for people who, let's be honest, this World Cup has had the USA Paraguay game was a really good game. I think the Morocco game, Brazil game is fantastic.
Yeah.
Netherlands and Japan will be a great game. But once injuries start kicking in, and they will, the heat hasn't kicked in yet. We're still in Canada right now, it's 27 degrees. It's actually really good weather for us. If you leave the house right now, it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I can't wait for 2 weeks from now when
it's humid and he slaps you in the face, and then we'll have a conversation.
And New York is going to be just as hot. Boston's going to be hotter. God knows what Dallas is going to be like.
I forgot about them.
Yeah. So once we get there, then we'll talk. Then we'll see. You'll start hearing the conversations haven't yet started. We're still in We're still in the honeymoon phase, guys. Wait, just wait. The BBC haven't done the documentary. We haven't seen Panorama yet. We're waiting for everybody else to kick in, and then we'll talk. Give it a month. Give it a month.
If you're saying this has not kicked in, I don't know what you're waiting for.
We're just talking the football. Everything else is hit fans, okay? Everything else is hit fans at this point, okay?
But I think there's in here. There's a lot more people talking about the World Cup now. A majority of it is not very good. But people are showing up on stadiums. Like we're seeing what is possible.
To what you're saying there, I think there's I'll give it credit here. Like when you see the stories with like Algeria and Kansas, like when you see the stories with the Panama team in Ontario, right? Like when you see like the Ghana team arrive and all the player and the Ghanaian community going out there to like when you see things like that and like the community outreach aspects of that is at least positive and just encouraging. And then like for a moment it gives you a quick moment of like, oh great,
dopamine.
we're exposing them to the sport and the world is coming here. And then like 2 seconds later you're like, oh yeah, Senegal's entire supporter section just got denied. You're like,
they messed up though on that part. They forgot that New York and New Jersey, that's little Senegal. I don't know if they have not heard that. So there are things happening now where Federation and others are heading out tickets for their patriots, expats.
Yeah.
I think Senegal, I heard, doing it. I heard DR Congo is doing it.
Ghana's trying to do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if they're trying to remove some of that African flavor in those stadiums, they don't know where. They might not be loud. This is a big country. When you you put that whistle out for Africans to say, come and show up and here's your ticket, your djembe and all that happened. Yeah.
But
they don't know what they just did.
Here's a problem, Musa.
Yes.
Whenever you have a World Cup, a certain contingency of fans bring their flavor to the game.
Yeah.
This is a World Cup that feels generic because every stadium feels the same. I was expecting the Mexico Stadium to be like you'd hear more, and I don't know if this is racist, but you'd hear more like mariachi bands and like more Mexican music. Nothing. It was the same boring generic. I was so shocked when I was watching that game. I'm like, what the hell's going on? But here's the thing, like
security.
Do you remember? I don't care about security. Let's talk about.
But that's what I've been told.
Yeah, but that's my point, though. Like, this is a very generic World Cup. This is what it's supposed to be like. Whenever the African congregation shows up, it's face painting. They don't wear jerseys. You see the flag on the freaking body. They walk in with the flags on their bodies, and you're like, oh shit, here they are.
Yes.
Here we go. And then the European movement shows up, and it's ultras. Proper ultras.
Yeah.
That's what it's you feel the tension before the game starts. These games, if like I was watching a lot of these games, like the Brazil-Morocco game. They were trying to show Moroccan fans, and I'm like, there's 7 of them. There's 7 Moroccan fans in the whole stadium. What the hell are we doing?
Which is weird.
The whole stadium was yellow.
No, Brazil don't mess around.
No, it's not about Brazil messing around. Oh, wait, when Brazil plays Senegal in the last World Cup, or when Brazil plays any African nation, you know that they're playing an African nation. Mm-hmm. It's always guaranteed you'd know. How about the South African World Cup?
Vuvuzela, yes.
The Vuvuzelas, the Vuvuzelas were so loud people couldn't hear the ref. You couldn't even hear the ref whistle. And I'm like, that's exactly I think what's happened is we've forgotten how good World Cups used to be. Like how good you're supposed to feel tension.
Yeah.
We still haven't felt tension yet. Like that's the thing, guys. Be honest. You haven't felt tension in all of these games. You're just watching them because you're like, it's a good game.
I felt tension with the Canada game, but that's just because
Yeah, that's because you're emotionally invested in it.
Yeah, but
you're
Bosnia
supposed to
came on
watch
fire. So,
You're supposed to watch a neutral team and feel the tension. We didn't feel anything.
but that's it. Sort of feel maybe on purpose.
Yes, it is.
But
it is on purpose.
Could I argue then? But that's I would make the argument then but that's more so a reflection of, and I'll say North American sports, because I still think Mexico's football culture is still there. They just aren't there. Maybe the actual ultras or those people who would bring that passion are priced out.
Are not. Yeah, they're priced out. They're not in the stadium. They're outside. You see the videos of Mexican fans outside of the stadium.
That looks like than what's inside a stadium.
It's 100%. You look at the South Korean fans in South Korean news. They're talking about it. They're like, dude, Mexico is a blast.
Oh, of course.
All of them are like, dude, Mexico is so much fun. But again, that's my point. Listen, you're supposed to see. We were talking about the vuvuzelas. Yeah. What did other nations do to counteract the vuvuzelas? People brought in drums. People brought in people tried to counter whatever was going on, because that's what you're supposed to do. You bring in your traditions, your customs into the World Cup, provide a sound or some sort of support. If you're Moroccan and you're looking up and you just see a sea of yellow, you might as well have been playing in Brazil. You might as well have been playing a friendly in Brazil.
Which, to that point, which is why I think, and I said this on when I was live stream before at the beginning of the live stream, I was nervous for the Canada game. What got me excited, I opened up Twitter and I saw, okay, the Voyagers had a red march, and while the red march was happening, and they were and it was like the best I had heard it. I look over the next one, the Bosnian fans were coming in, and it was just like there was a moment where you're just like, oh, there's both of these happening. Oh, this energy is gonna hit together. And I'll give ourselves some credit. Like, this was probably when we scored. It was I wish we'd have scored early. That was just like then the environment started to pick. But to me, like when I saw the Bosnian fans coming to the stadium, I saw the Canadian fans coming to the stadium. That was to me when my energy was like, oh, okay. It's not that I'm nervous. I want this game to happen right now because I just want to feel.
So I've got to follow up. I've got to follow up, Kwasi.
Okay.
When a Ghanaian watched that game, do you think he felt like there was energy in that room? Thank you very much.
That's a very good question. That's a very good question.
Like dude, we saw the Brazil World Cup.
Yeah.
The Brazil World Cup and the Qatar World Cup, which had a better atmosphere? Brazil. South Africa versus Brazil. What a better atmosphere. South Africa. Because it's a big deal when you host a World Cup for the first time at home. Qatar just doesn't have enough people. If they had more, Saudi Arabia will be considerably better than Qatar World Cup. There are more of them. It's going to be crazy over there. You should watch the league. The league is actually, they're packed. The stadiums are packed in the regular league.
The tifos are amazing.
Yeah, the tifos are amazing. Like, it's actually a proper footballing nation. The issue I have is exactly what all of you guys have said. This feels like we're going to go watch. This is like a theater. We're going to go there. We're going to sit down. We're going to watch the entertainment. We're going to clap when it's good, when it ends.
No, but that's North American sports. We go to North American sports. View it at least for me is very. It's not necessarily engaging. It's more so they take in the action, like you're saying, but they're not active participants, right? The closest, because for where I live and the conversation where that always goes, which is an interesting conversation we kind of landed on, is I remember where I am because I'm just outside. I'm Niagara Falls area, and I can remember thinking for big events in our area. So here, right across, you have Buffalo, whatever the juniors are, the junior hockey team would play and stuff. Really hot topic for Canadians these days, but I would listen to commentary. They'd be like, no, we want to go to the Canada games because that's the closest thing we can get right now to a European environment at a football match. And when you get to those, okay, no, that's different. But generally speaking, You go in, you take it in, you might cheer. We aren't, yeah, we're entertainment based and we're event based. We've never actually
Can,
properly
can I tell you
been
why that's all a
spectating.
lie? Can I tell you why that's all a lie?
I,
Go right
it's not a
now,
lie.
turn on the Knicks game, and see how the fans are reacting.
Yeah, but
That's
some
no. It's not a but. It's because they are fans of basketball. They are fans of the Knicks, and they care. There is a reason why if the USA gets knocked out early, let's assume they get knocked out of groups. They won't, but let's assume. Let's assume they get knocked out of groups or they're knocked out round of 32. How many games are going to be full? The Brazil game,
just US
the
games.
France games? No, I'm saying if the USA get knocked out, and now you're going to go watch random teams. It's going to be the Portugal games because everyone wants to see Ronaldo.
Ronaldo.
It's going to be the Argentina games because everybody wants to see Messi. It's going to be the France teams because everybody wants to see Mbappe.
I'm here for Conte, but keep going.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Conte is yours. Mbappe for others. I respect that.
Yes.
And then that's it. And Brazil, because Brazil apparently has a big. I didn't know they had such a big community.
The one
It's
thing
so
that the U.S. has, yeah, that's the thing. The one thing the U.S. has is that they have a large diaspora population. The problem that they're going to have is how if they've priced out that diaspora population.
That's the issue.
Yeah,
That's the
that
problem.
goes back to the point that we brought.
That's
before.
yeah. We're basically going around in circles because I guarantee you, if you allow the cost of the games to be cheaper, you would see more fans. I think America has those fans. They're just not in the stadium. I think Canada has those fans. They're just not in the stadium.
Yeah,
Mexico clearly has those fans. They're not in the stadium. That's my issue.
and that's just reflective of North America. So the second that you can put a price point somewhere, you realize let's price out. The same thing happened, like even like you said, basketball. Same thing happened with the Raptors, where once the Raptors made the finals, it was just like there was one part was like, oh man, this could be great. We'll come back, and then it felt you started hearing the calls of just okay, now it just feels like MLSC have realized that there's a new threshold for pricing. So if they can raise it to this point, and then it was just like, well, the passionate people who want to go there, the fans have been priced out, and now it's more event based in terms of that play. Here's what the good thing happened. If you had a season ticket, you were given priority pricing. You didn't have to pay exorbitant amounts of money unless your pricing was courtside. Right?
It depends, though.
Everybody else, no, I'm saying for the Toronto one. For the Toronto one, it was clear. There were people who their tickets were $150, and they were reselling for however much, $700, $800. To me, it's fair. If you're showing up regularly, and then someone tells you, "Hey, I'll pay 8 times the money so that I can pretend I'm a Raptors fan," that's a completely different thing. If the finals was the price that we're talking about regular games, I'm with you boys, 100%. Finals jack up the prices. That makes sense. Big games like Portugal playing, if Portugal played Argentina, good Lord, that price, I don't know what it would be.
Listen, if you got that ticket, you're not even going to, you're reselling that ticket.
Yeah, immediately.
That's a house.
Yeah, that's a house. That's a 100. That's a minimum 100K ticket if Portugal plays Argentina in the final.
The two guys finishing.
The two guys finishing. Oh,
yeah.
boy.
But I think for the culture wise that we're all talking, for a lot of the federations that I'm starting to see getting visa denied, I think it almost feels like the sterilization of like the fan base, because we all know when you go to stadium for World Cups, right? There's different ticket allocations. So there's a section that's usually blocked for that federation to have those fans. So when the camera zooms in to those guys, it shows that, for Senegal, it's those guys that have Senegal painted. And that's like every World Cup, you have to see that. Netherlands, you see that orange wall. You have to see that. Brazilian, you see those dancing. You have to see that. At this moment, I don't know if it's the group stage, but it's a complete blanket in the
Musa,
entire stadium of
you,
who can get the
you,
tickets.
you must have missed it. They changed the coloring. So you know when you buy your tickets, every single spot has like a color
Yes.
associated to it. Midway through, after the first round of tickets were bought, FIFA changed
Yeah,
the
I heard
color
that.
scheme, and
Yes.
it messed everything up. So if you and your friends were all sitting in one spot, you were just moved to a completely different side of the stadium, and that literally happened. And honestly, it's just like there's so many things we could talk about
We
at
could
this
go on
point.
for hours.
We can go on for hours. Scotland beat Haiti, which is literally what I said. I thought Haiti would not
But
win.
that was lucky. Like that's a rebound goal. Like that's
It's
yes, they won, but
Mhm.
the way I've watched here, if Haiti had someone to finish on the final third, that game would have been totally different than what I saw.
But who created more dangerous chances? Because from
The last
I'm just
15
looking at
minutes,
SofaScore, Scotland apparently had created more.
the last 15
dangerous
minutes, Haiti was knocking at the door.
yeah, and like this will sound like me being a Haiti hater, but like Haiti has the potential. They just like Haiti not finishing their chances
Mhm.
is kind of more of the course for them because they'll create, but then they'll get to the final third. You'll just be like, what was that exactly? Or everything is just off. Like the amount of crosses that they had were just, oh, you have a player who makes his run, starts his run too late, then he sees it and he goes. They've just not been very. They're very hit or miss with their finishing. They're either scoring 3 or they're going 0-0 or it's a 1-0 loss type of thing. So this is for Haiti. It's par for the course for them. Like I was to me, I was like. I was talking with Maxon about it earlier with the prediction, was saying like Haiti feels like Canada 2022, where they'll play 3 games. We'll look at them and be like, yeah, they played fairly well in all of them, but then at the end of the day, it's still 3 losses, and Haiti's on course for that for me because it's a typical type of a Haiti game for me. You'd like to see them finish; they have the ability to finish, but their strikers and the finishers are hit or miss, are very much hit or miss here. So it's kind of par for the course for me for what they did in this game, at least for me.
Yeah, because look on paper, if you look at the stats, it's more of a Haiti thing, right?
It is, but that's also a product of Scotland playing a certain way, right? Once Scotland started to play, then it turned into once Scotland got their goal, Scotland's not going to be an expansive game. They're going to low block and defend. So of course, as you see, like the heat map or the attacking momentum, like the last part of the game is all Haiti, yes, and then the last part of the half was all Haiti. But for the most part, it was Haiti creating chances. Bless up DJ Giggs, by the way. At the end of the day, it's just that game. That's more of the course for Haiti for me. So for me, I was just like, it's a typical Haiti game, unfortunately. Not in a like, oh, they'll create chances, but their finishing, like I said, is on and off. So yes, they definitely were buzzing, but their finishing to me was a Tuesday for me. It was typical.
Yeah, they definitely missed the opportunity to do something to disturb that group.
It's definitely a thing, and yeah, I'll bring you in here just for a quick second. But to a point that we had brought up earlier, I do think there is validity, and Nelson had brought it up, but I'm going to echo it again. The European teams adjusting to North America. If there's ever a time to get points off of them, it has to be their first game.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get them early before they get into rhythm and before they get accustomed into the space, because I feel that's yeah, I did change the name. I didn't put out a video for it, but yeah, I did change the name. It's still me. Everyone still calls me the same thing. We're kind of running with it. But yes, this is the old Africans channel, but this is now the shape of football because I don't want to be just associated with South Africans all the time. I am more than just not a South African. That's me. Perfect timing for that too, because I'm sure with the wrong brand, it not could have got me. But need to bring you in here again. do you think there's still that vulnerability for European sides where you think if they could get them early, that's the time to get points off of them before they get acclimatized to just like playing here? And this because it feels for the teams that we've seen so far. Yes, Scotland, it's the first European win so far, but it feels like there is points to be had if teams can be clinical enough.
Yeah, if there was a game for them to do something, this was it.
Yeah, this was definitely the game for them to do it. And
Yeah.
so Haiti, I mean, I think Haiti will be fine against. And when I say fine against Brazil, I mean the style that Brazil will want to play. Because Haiti is fine with that up and down type of game that they'll play, no doubt. But against like, and that's where I think we were talking about the games earlier. I think certain matchup how teams will like them to full out and play out. I think Haiti is fine to play Brazil. I think they'll try to defend a little bit more, but an up and down transition type game will definitely suit them more. But then again, that could be a game where I mean we saw Panama play Brazil. That was 6-2. And yeah, hey, those two were good for Panama. That's the concern we have with the Ghanaian in me. But hey, that's six. You want to play that style? That's six waiting for you. And that's a team that's kind of figuring, just kind of flowing it through. But that's what we have here for you today. So, reminder again Scotland are on top of the group. Frame it, boys. Frame this moment for you. Scotland are at the top of their group with 3 points. After this is what we have so far: Mexico 3, South Korea 3, Czechia 0, and South Africa 0. Group of life, Group B 1-1-1-1. This feels like a 4-4-4-4 group where everyone finishes off 4 point. Everyone goes draw, win, loss, which means, ugh.
But did you see the handball from Scotland that was not called?
I didn't see it because my stream had dropped. Tell me about that real quick here.
No, it's a clear handball. The guy was literally leaned over the ball between his arm and armpit, completely stopped the ball, was looking at the ball, and there was no calls.
Huh.
And I'll tag you to it, but yes.
Yeah, tag me to it because I want to see that. Because
I need to see if there was at the time. But yeah, that one should have been considered.
Yeah, it's interesting what VAR has done because I think the most interesting VAR conversation, though, whether it's right, but it opens up a Pandora's box. So we had it yesterday. Was the false identity yellow card, where it's look. I get why you make that call because it's the yellow's on the wrong person. But once you open the Pandora's box of going back and correcting something like that, like how far back are you going into it? And that to me is, I'm not criticizing the call. I'm criticizing what you now open up. We already have VAR, so now we're going to go back and review decisions that are there already. Let the game flow. Human error has always been part of it. We can complain when a ref makes a call. That's been part of the game overall, always. So yes, was it a dive? Yes. Should have been called? Yes. They went back and changed it. Yes. Do I have a problem with it? Yes. Because now it's how far back? What's the statute of limitations for that? Is it a minute? Is it 2 minutes? Is it 30 seconds? Can we go back in 5 minutes? Is this like VAR where the play keeps going and then the ref buzzes down and says, actually just stop, go review 2 minutes pass to see if this was a penalty or not, and then the game goes from there? Like, there's a degree where make a decision, be confident with it, go. Don't let VAR make those. Some sports need automated reffing, okay? Baseball needs an automated strike bot zone. I agree. But at some point, the more we open the door for VAR, it's like we're not going to have refs. We're just going to be like, okay, the algorithm buzzes out and says this is the issue. We're going to call that as this, and we're going to move from there, and that's it. We've had refs. I don't want refs to be using VAR as a safety blanket. Make a call. Make a call and go for it. If that means you have to have a restart from somewhere, fine. But make a call. Linesman, call it offsides, please. Yes, will it ruin some flows? Of course it will. But make the call.
Yeah, the floor is gone anyway, so might as well
It
continue.
is. It is. It is. But coming up later tonight or early morning for our Australian friends out there, Australia versus Turkey for Group D. That's United States group. And then later, coming tomorrow, you have Germany, Curacao. Uh, you have the Netherlands and Japan. I think that's going to be a fun game. And then Cote d'Ivoire and Ecuador coming up. And then to nightcap that up at 10, Sweden and Tunisia. We'll be back again. I think we might do the Cote d'Ivoire game
Mm.
at 7. And then that'll roll into 9 o'clock, recapping the games that were. We can talk about the 3 games prior to that. But guys, thank you for being with us today. We do appreciate you guys coming through. Again, we'll be here every evening, 9 p.m. Eastern time, as well as all the Canadian games and then most of the African games that we can fit in. We'll be here talking about it. You guys leave your comments below. If you like the discussion, again, if you're looking for another form of this, we'll be putting this on our podcast form. Go to the link tree. It's all the fun things. Musa, what do you have coming up for you coming up here?
The website, and there will be a few live stream, maybe not tomorrow, but and I look forward to France Senegal.
Yep, France Senegal. Yep, I saw you tag me in it. Perfect. Wait, is that?
Yeah, if you look at it.
Congratulations to the New York Knicks, I guess.
Yeah.
They won the NBA Finals. Guys, let's say a quick prayer for New York City. It's gonna burn. like, at least they got an early
tonight.
Nobody's sleeping tonight. Yo, when's the next game in New York? Like, when's the next World Cup game in New York?
There's gonna be a
Someone
lot
might be
of
still
over
awake.
people, zombies.
Wait, New Jersey World Cup games. This is actually. Brazil was today. Okay, so they play that in New Jersey. So Tuesday. Okay, good. So wow, if someone is Moroccan or Brazilian, y'all get to your hotels.
Yeah.
Get to your hotels right now. Just go home. Go to your hotels right now and come out in the morning.
Yeah, we'll pray for him because
For sure.
it's not tonight, but they're gonna be partying for a long
Yeah,
time.
they'll be going. Someone is going to be awake from now all the way till when France plays Senegal. Okay.
Oh, you mean they're gonna be awake till July 17th?
I
Remember, there's like what? How many? 4 games in the next 2-3 weeks?
Yeah, it's 4 games a day. Yeah. 4 or 5 games. Well, depending on where the East Coast is. And yes, I did mention it, but my thoughts on the referees getting denied entering the countries. I think it's mighty. It's mighty two-faced. It's mighty hypocritical of FIFA to now say, "Oh, we're going to respect the rules of the country because their immigration policy. We want to respect them. We're just here for the World Cup." When I can be like, so we're not going to talk about how Brazil, where they made the government change laws so they can sell beer. We're not going to talk about how when Indonesia was going to host the U20 World Cup and they were going to give visas, or the idea was floated at that they wouldn't give visas to the Israel team, and then that World Cup got moved all of a sudden to Argentina so that teams could go and qualify there.
Mm-hmm.
But then in this situation, you're like, oh, we're going to respect the countries and what they're doing. Listen, this World Cup was given in 2018. You know who was president there. Everything was going to be bending over backwards for that regime. And hey, they happen to be there. Those are my thoughts. I think it's bad,
yes.
but at the end of the day, it's just, I say,
it was awful logistics. I think that, to make it a long story short, yes, we are putting everything 99.999% of the hosting country. But I also want to put it on FIFA and everybody else that, one, if those are handpicked people.
Yeah.
So that means you do your due diligence the moment you pick those folks, that they're now under the umbrella of FIFA. They're official FIFA folks. So that means you go and everybody does counter intelligence. It like this research is nothing new, right?
Yeah.
So if there's a Somali referee, yes, there's all these issues that's happening with Somali and the things they've said before. So the moment you made that selection, you've been best friend with the president and the administration. It's like, hey, this is the guy we've picked from Somalia. Here's his information. Here's how we vetted him. And he cleared on our side. So now it's your turn to do it now. Let's do it before he gets ready to go. So that way you can do that behind closed door, do the whole negotiations. If he's denied at that moment, do it behind doors and have your PR all lined up. So when he says, hey, we didn't pick you, you know what happened, all of those things. Here's what we're going to do. That way it's not so public and it's not straight to their face. Those are all smart people. I don't understand how we are able to think properly of like, hey, this will look awful for everybody. We do enough crap behind closed door anyways. Let's get this under control. All those visas denied, do it before. Plan properly before, so those does not come and bite you in the rear next.
Yeah.
I don't understand. We all work in like projects. We all work, we all know what you can do behind closed doors, but yet you taint the discussion. It's taking away from the teams that are traveling. Some of these folks have worked 8 years to make it to where they are now. And within an hour, a day, or a week, you completely destroy someone's past 10 years, pretty much.
Yeah.
Which is awful.
And like we said, it's a World Cup where the one conversation we'll have for at least the average viewer here is just a lack of access.
Yeah.
And whether it's entering the country or whether it's entering the games, just lack of access. But we'll talk about that with more things. Again, we have games coming up tomorrow. We have things. If you're in New York City, stay safe out there, guys. Just stay safe. Gotham is here. Okay, Gotham will be there.
And if you're from San Antonio, go hide, remove your jersey, don't say anything, get your New York accent.
Yeah,
make it home safe.
But World Cup goes on. A couple draws, a win, and one game to go. But we'll talk about that game tomorrow as we come through, guys. Thanks for spending the evening with us. I hope you enjoy the discussion. If you like it, we'll put it on our podcast form so you can listen to us. It'll go on for 2 hours talking about all things. But thank you again, guys, for being here. We'll be back here tomorrow for sure at 9, but probably at 7 for that Cote d'Ivoire game. But until then, guys, we'll sign off. Nelson had to step off a little earlier, but guys, thank you for being here. And as always,